On the ground in Ibiza, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be going to Monaco on our first flight. Ryanair operations. European ops. Ryanair European ops. Let's get inside, shall we? From Ibiza all the way up there. Let's do this. We will load it to runway. Sure that my e-brake is on. Oh, that's an update. Getting all the equipment out of here. Let's get our route program from Lima, Echo, India, Bravo. 06 to Lima, Frank, November, over to R. I don't have the goddamn frequencies, ILS frequencies for European runway airports. Guess I didn't think about that. Didn't think that through. Load it. What are our flaps at? 5. $597. Get our TCAS turned on. $260. That's our ceiling, huh? 260. What up, Jake? 260. let's go. Landing lights on, turn lights, taxi light, seat belts on. Thank you, Jake. I appreciate that, brother. I think we're ready to go. Terrain there. Senior, yeah, I watched Money in the Bank tonight, man. That's crazy, huh? Can't live forever, Jake, unfortunately. Alright, well. We're gonna have to figure out how to get. Yeah, since I was in high school, man, I still have my original World Life stuff from 2000, 2003, 4 that I got when I was in high school. I had that stuff forever, man. R.I.P. to one of the greats. Well, not R.I.P., but, hell of a career. We are taxing in the Ryanair. Yeah, you're old. Yeah. I still have my original Word Life shirt, man, with the baseball shirt with the short black sleeves. Well, this guy's dead right here. This guy's dead too. What are you thinking, bro? Nolan is going crazy. Oh, that's great. Love to hear that, man. He didn't get a lot of money tonight. Here in Ibiza, ladies and gentlemen, making our way to France. How much? 5,000 or 500? I mean, good for Jimmy if that's what he did, man. It's good to see him putting his money where his mouth is, you know? $5K. Wow. Well, how about Jericho? Has he given anything yet? Actually, Sullivan might be part of the administration that got Jericho. 3,500. Okay. Yeah, Jericho. Like I said, when Rico was having issues, Jericho gave money to him too. Old rhymes with DeSantis over there. We knew, Bob. We knew. Wannabe lawyer, wannabe pilot. Over there living in his dad's basement. See if we can speed up this taxi a little bit, man. I've rewatched Jim Cornette versus. Lieutenant Dan, ice cream. Oh, look, we got a Lauda air jet. Wow. Shout out to Niki Lauda. One of the best to ever do it. We lost Niki Lauda. Lauda Air is no more, unfortunately. We're going right in the ass of this Lauda Air jet. Anybody else that gets in our way, too. We're just going to go right into the roll here. Taking off from Ibiza, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to Ibiza. The Venga bus came and the Venga bus left. Okay, airspeed's alive.
80 knots.
80 knots checked. Positive rate, gears going up. I'm gonna fly this manually for a little bit. What do you say? Later, Ibiza. On our way to the coast of France now. Let's get our autopilot. VNav. $260. Flaps are going up. Watch the slats on the wing here. Right up there. Watch. See that? Flaps and slats, baby. That extends the size of the wing so they can generate lift at lower speeds. That ain't kosher, Jake. That ain't kosher. You love ham. Quit spamming the chat, Jake. The Feezy. On our way to our cruising altitude of 26,000 feet. Welcome aboard Ryanair. Be right back, guys. Should we watch bowling? Are people in the chat? Ghost, you still there? We are above 10,000 feet. We can get these lights off. Start our cabin service. We're just serving drinks on this flight as it's a quick little jump from Ibiza to Côte d'Azur. We are flying basically northeast into Monaco. Well, let's get bowling going, huh? Let's get bowling going.
Following possibly I'll be
Hearing Dutch Mantel
Here we
name
go.
on this show. I know I'm starting to get a little irritated
It's bowling
by
time.
it, but it's there. But we're working on some possible changes in the near future. I haven't shaved. This was called I Don't Give a Shit. Friday, Saturday, Thursday.
Friday, Saturday, Thursday.
Any other days that were associated with this week. It's called I Don't Give a Shit. And I thought about shaving, and then I didn't. And so here it is. This is what it is. So I thought maybe I might have a little help in here tonight. I thought possibly the Bobby of Bangs might be around to be of some help. You know, it's a very late start tonight, but only 9:30 his time. But I don't see him anywhere around. But I do have a little bit of help tonight, and I'm pretty sure he probably saw the pay-per-view. So, Mr. Train, you can go ahead and let yourself in when you're ready. And we'll just have you let yourself in here. Yeah. And of course, all the attention goes to the right-hand side of the screen, so I will fix that. Apparently, there's scientific studies that say that all the attention goes to the right-hand side of the screen and that's why Joe Biden put the right-hand side. Just like with Joe Biden, I'll win any debate that I'm in. Unless I'm drugged out of my fucking mind, maybe have flown all over 13
You'll
countries.
win any debate that you're in, huh, Bowling?
Being home for 11 days. I could.
So 043.
Pretty enough to where the eye's gonna draw anywhere I am. So.
Well, I've heard.
Chat GPT can get me those frequencies, baby. It's a good life hack right there.
AKA Naughty Nicole was in the house.
Nicole,
frequency is
Kevin.
111.95.
I don't think that's legit. Isn't it usually the person who was talking?
No, they're a babbling idiot.
Well, no. Actually, there was a study done by the networks recently, and they say that's why Scaramucci always demands to be on the right-hand side when people stand at podiums. If
Nobody
they have a
says
choice,
that.
they prefer to be on the right. I've
Nobody
always just
says
liked
that.
being on the right anyway. I didn't have any scientific study behind it. I just have always.
Well,
preferred to be on the
Americans,
right.
we're taught everything to the right except wrestling.
Yeah.
But you know, if
So-
you're skidding off, you skid to the right. You look to the right. You know.
Yeah.
It's just ingrained in us.
And Jazzy Jana's in the house today. She's got her wrench, so y'all better be on your best freaking behavior.
Clunk you upside the head with it.
I do have whoops upside your head. I go oops upside your head. How many people in here have heard that song other than me, you, and Jazzy Jana? Probably not too many.
Maybe the Canadian.
I saw the pay-per-view in its entirety tonight. My son had picked me up a shitload of drinks that were on sale. I'm back replenished with the Spice Coke. I even got some Big Red Zero tonight that I had during the pay-per-view. I've got me some more strawberry. I've got me some cherry Pepsi. I got me some regular Coke Zero, but I'm breaking out the spice tonight.
Oh
my!
Good shit, like.
Well, I'm bringing out the good shit tonight. By the way, I'm going to pop a top on this bitch right now. We have 3 potential challenges. I don't expect a shitload of people in here tonight. Number one, I think I have banned Twitter for life. I think one donation has come from Twitter. There were 2 or 3 others that said, "What huge
I
fans
banned
of mine
Twitter
they
for
are.
life."
How do we donate, sir?
That's
How
always
do we
a setup.
donate?" Yeah, well, how do you read, you stupid fucks? There's four different ways right there to do so.
Wow. How do you read, you stupid
And if
fucks?
you have to ask me how to donate, you're a fucking moron, and I don't want to deal with you.
Wow.
I've
By
had a
the
couple
way-
call me because they couldn't make macaroni and cheese, which is printed on the box.
It's printed on the box.
Dead
By the way,
serious, man. This
Shout out
generation.
to our lovely sponsors. We just inked a new deal with Popeyes, new deal with Maine, brand spanking new deal with Bear Nose Pizza. We officially kicked off. They've been with us for a while. We've been kind of in a trial run, more or less, with Bear Nose Pizza, but we inked their deal today. Bear Nose Pizza will be with us for quite some time to come. And they were the sponsor of my little watch-along party tonight. And I still got a shitload of pizza in there in the oven. Over half of it. I sent a large portion of it home with my son. And Bear Nose Pizza, my God. If you've never had one, the Wix Pizza, who used to be a sponsor of OVW TV, because I sold the deal, Mark Henry,
sold
myself,
the
Beth
deal.
Phoenix, Jacob Duncan, Jim Cornette, various others, did e-commercials for them back in the early 2000s. And Wix Pizza used to be a sponsor of OVW TV. Then they went away for a while. Bear Nose was our original sponsor on OVW TV. Wix took their place after a while, after a couple of years. And now Wix is back with OVW TV. And I don't, people, well, Bear Nose is your sponsor, why you mentioned Wix? Well, there's a reason. It's called comparison shopping. Comparison shopping. And we'll throw McDonald's.
You care,
and Burger King
Gonzo.
into that. If McDonald's has the double quarter pounder with cheese for $4.99, and let's say Burger King has the double Whopper with cheese for $8.99, what are you going to be more likely to get? Probably
Depends on which one's
McDonald's
better,
double-
Bolin, you fat
double
fuck.
quarter, right? For half the price, right? That's what I would be leaning on. I'm a man that likes to save a buck or two when I'm out
Bullet is a
shopping.
ratings
So
killer,
let's
Bubba.
say Burger King $8.99 double Whopper.
Luckily, it was a short
McDonald's double
show.
quarter.
It was only an hour and a
I think
half.
it's actually higher than that. It's probably $5.99, maybe even $6.99. I don't know. But but if it's half the price or a third of the price, or give or take, you're going to lean towards who's got the best buy. Two Rivers, they have buffets out there during the week that are like $13. All you can eat buffet for $13. Who does that anymore? And it's all fresh food. It's all handpicked from their local farmers.
Who does
out
that
there.
anymore, Gonzo?
You can't go wrong with buffet. Now their seafood buffets are dramatically higher. But it's they got crab legs and the great fried fish. They got all kinds of great things.
One day
Normally,
while
they're
I'm
buffets,
live
about
on
13
stream, I'm
bucks
gonna
during
call
the
these
weekdays,
sponsors.
for lunch and dinner.
I'm gonna be like, "Do you
that.
sponsor the
But
bowling
then,
alley?"
The reason, I bring up,
too.
the reason I bring up Wick's Pizza, they have sponsored a couple of my pay-per-view watch-alongs before. And the purchase price of that Wick's Pizza, if you go in there with tax and everything included, is about $53 to $54 for the mighty Big Wick. It's a great pizza. I'll be the first to tell you. It's a great pizza. But Bear Nose, according to what most people tell me, in my personal opinion, makes a better pizza, just as big, maybe even more toppings than the mighty Wick, for $29. 29, freaking 28 or 29. Don't hold me to the exact price. And you might even find a special that'll get you a little better buy than that. But if you can
Too
get
many shows
a
on.
better pizza
They're all going head to head
for
against each
29
other.
instead of 53 or 54, no offense to our good friends over at Wix. I mean, they were a sponsor for a while. They're still a sponsor on OVW TV. But where do you want to spend your hard-earned dollars? Do you want to drop $53 on a Wix, or do you want to drop $29? And as a matter of fact, the owner of Bear Nose told me, he says, well, Kenny, if I charge $53 for my pizza, I would own about 7 houses right now. I said, well, I don't know that they do. I don't know. That's what
Yeah,
they're doing.
exactly,
But
Gonzo.
he didn't even know. I told him what Wix was charging. I talked to the two owners.
Typically,
over there,
sponsors
and
pay
we
you.
inked the deal to get them as a permanent sponsor here. And we actually officially inked that deal Friday. To get Bear Nose with us over here permanently. And I told him I was happy. I said, man, I only promote what I love on this show.
I only promote what I love on
McDonald's
this
has some things I
show.
love. There are 2 other burger places negotiating with us right now because McDonald's contract is up very soon, and we'll see what these other 2 places do. And I like both of the other places very well, and real well, and we'll see what they come up with. And
I like
it's all about
What is
it's all
going
about
on
the
here?
Pasta Tart made a bit of a challenge when she was kicking out the other day, but she had to work the next day. And she said, save my only good thing McDonald has is the Shamrock Shake. Well, that's not a very nice thing to say about our paid sponsors on the show.
I, for one, love their toasted
I know
strawberry
I,
cream pie.
I know I said we're in negotiation, but they're not gone yet. Let's not shit on them till they're gone.
They have the
You
best
don't
French
mind.
fries of any restaurant ever.
I'm going to disagree with you. You know who I like better? I got 2. I like Raleigh fries better. Popeye fries are good.
Yeah, they
Popeye
are.
fries are good.
They
Popeye
stay
fries
good,
are
too.
good.
They stay good. They do. They reheat in the air fryer very well. And the other ones I love when I go to White
What is
Castle,
this island that we're
I
in?
love their crinkle cut.
Oh, this is Machu Picchu. No. Machu Picchu is on the coast of Peru. Majorca. This is Majorca. Okay. The Balearic island of Majorca.
Fries. I
I
like
don't
the
know if
crinkle
we
cut.
have White Castle out here. I have to check.
You probably don't. They're big on this side of
More
the
of
country.
a east side, yeah.
I don't even know that Texas has them. And Steak and Shake is a very good place for burgers. And
it
they
cuts
have
off right about Illinois.
Does it really? Well, they have the
Yeah.
shoestring fries at Steak and Shake. We were there for dinner the
Oh,
other
yeah.
day.
Kind of like
And
the
they
real
have the
French fajitas or whatever.
Yeah, well, they have the shoestring cheese fries over there. I know we're talking a lot about food. We haven't got into the favor yet. We only got 20 viewers in here. It's late. I don't know who's going to show up tonight.
20 viewers.
And we have that rule to where if we don't make $60 in the first 30 minutes, the show's over.
If we don't make
Bob,
$60 in the first
Bob,
30
what the
minutes, the
show's
show's
about.
over. Did you hear
Well, I
that?
got in here late. It was supposed to be 10:15. Pay-per-view ended at 10:14, but I
Well,
had
we've been
3
live
Holy
14
moly.
minutes, though.
$60 in the
well,
first
there you
30
go.
minutes.
We're halfway through.
This guy
We
charges
haven't
more
asked
than
for
my
any
fucking
donations.
accountant.
Yeah, so now we're asking.
True.
But
From
that's
this
the rules.
point.
And Pasta Tart made a challenge, but we don't want to waste her challenge if there ain't going to be fucking nobody here.
That was hilarious. We don't want to waste her challenge if there ain't going to be nobody here.
Teammaker wanted to do a nice challenge. And what he said he would do, and I don't know that we're going to have the power in here to do it tonight, he says, I will match every donation up to $75, but we have to make the 75. So we'll see what people want to do. And Billy Sellers wanted to honor his donation, but I think we're looking to do his on Tuesday. We're going to do his on Tuesday. He wants to do a challenge as well. So hello to Jazzy Jana. Hello to the Pasta Tart. Hello to Vanessa. And Mylene is in here. Mylene over in Slack. Well, we got that was a big hit. That was a big hit. And
I'm just gonna set it.
So we don't have a lot in here. I thought we'd have more. I thought people would want to come in and get. I'm not even going to do a review on the pay-per-view if no one's here that gives a shit and wants to talk to me about it. I thought the crowd was very down, to be honest with you.
There were only a couple of moments where they were really, they had that little decibel meter that they put out now that, of course, they rig up some.
I thought they fucked up a couple of the finishes. I thought that, who's the brunette that's from Canada that was in the thing?
Elsie Green.
I mean, I know I picked Tiffany Stratton.
Of course, Bowen watched the whole show, but he doesn't know anybody's names.
I didn't know that the girl in red, Tiffany. Is it Tiffany?
Chelsea.
Chelsea. I didn't realize Chelsea was Canadian.
I didn't either.
And Chelsea has amazing facial expressions.
Well, that's a tiny ass island. We got right over that bitch.
Her character is a Karen.
Good grief.
Yes, to a degree. My pick on her character is there's about 8 girls doing her shit right now.
Yeah.
There's about 8 girls doing exactly the same shit in about 3 different countries. That's my pick against it. But I can't hold her against that. But I thought she should have won tonight in further evaluation. I know on the show I picked Tiffany Stratton to win it, but in further evaluation, I didn't know she was from Canada, so I thought it would have been good to let her win. But
I think I picked Chelsea, didn't I? Yeah, because I read a rumor she wanted to bring the Diva belt back if she won the title. That big hunk of shit butterfly belt.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I did not know also that Tiffany Stratton was a Trump supporter and an anti-vaxxer, so I no longer.
I didn't know that either.
I didn't know till tonight, but yeah, anti-vaxxer and a Trump supporter. I no longer. I did not know also that Tiffany Stratton was a Trump supporter and an anti-vaxxer, so I no longer.
I didn't know that either.
I didn't know till tonight, but yeah, anti-vaxxer and a Trump supporter.
You know what she reminded me of?
By the way, you got to hold up. By the way, the political opinions expressed on this show, either by the co-host, the host,
God, Bowen,
fans,
you don't have any sponsors, bro. Nobody believes you.
Sponsors. So we got to get
you
that.
Liar.
I need to make a video that covers that.
We do.
So that way we have 3 videos. And the fries, however, Popeyes and Rally. Rally's has very good fries. I meant to get. We like Rally, but we will oftentimes go in and drop $6 on the mega size order of Rally fries.
Are those the crinkly ones? How do those?
Yeah, curly.
Oh, yeah, I love not what is it? Arby's.
Rally fries are off the charts. Crinkle cut fries at McDonald's, not at McDonald's, but White Castle I like real well. And I'm not a big fan of the shoestring fries, but Steak and Shake does them pretty good, especially if you get the cheese version.
I promise you, he's getting ready to announce.
You gotta get the season right.
Nobody seems to be wanting to talk about the pay-per-view, so we won't. I don't know if anyone's donated yet or not.
I promise you, he's getting ready to announce his sponsorship with Steak and Shake.
I'm a little I was
He's been
surprised
talking about Steak and
Jericho
Shake
donated to
way too much lately.
Donald Trump as well. Supposedly he did it basically.
There was always a little stump that made me suspect. He always starts shit with "I'm not political" and then goes into a full political,
and then goes into very political.
There's no doubt.
Okay, so looks like I might be getting a $150 refund on my PayPal account for something I was being charged for that I had no idea I was being charged for, and they went back and traced it, and they were getting me for $18 a month for something I didn't even know that I was getting, and they said, well, do you own an Xbox? I said, no. They said, well, that probably means that they shouldn't be billing you. I said, yeah.
Probably.
So, yeah, it's a Microsoft thing that was trying to charge me for shit that I didn't have. Let's
Andre, we need $5 to answer that question, bud.
Yeah, we have no donations.
We're going to need $5 to answer that question. That was culture.
Other than the 3 people that were...
that question, bud.
Let's see.
Andre, we need $5 to answer that question, bud.
Yeah, we have no donations.
What? Fuck you, Coltrane, you fucking weirdo.
Other than
any questions until
other than the 3 people that were wanting to. What's up? Your thoughts? Well, he hadn't retired yet, and
are you crazy?
And Andre, I've known you for quite some time, and the rules on the show is that you have to make a donation, $5 minimum. I know we've known each other a long time, and you've donated before, so I know you know how to do it. And
what
we have to make $60 to be on here longer than 30 minutes, and we've got 10 minutes left.
Chef
and
Lee.
Nobody, even though I bothered to come in here after the pay-per-view,
Mr.
try to
Charles.
give y'all a little something.
Mr.
And like
Charles.
I said, Pasta Tart wanted to make a nice little challenge, but I'm not going to waste it tonight if we're not even going to match her challenge. I'm certainly not going to waste Tea Maker's challenge.
I'm not going to waste
Tea
Tea Maker's
challenge, but we're not going to get enough in here to do that.
Oh,
And Billy Sellers wanted to do it. So we got 3 people wanting to challenge, but we got 21 people in here, and 21 people that ain't donated.
Thank God.
And apparently aren't going to.
Thank God.
So, and if y'all want to talk about the pay-per-view, I'll talk about it. If you want to talk about the John Cena retirement, I'll talk about it. I knew when he got in the ring, I'll give you this much. I knew when he got in the ring and says, I'm here to announce my retirement, that he ain't retiring tonight.
Yeah,
Because
that's what I said again.
I've already heard too many other things straight from the goddamn, if it ain't the horse's mouth, it's the horse's father's mouth.
The pappy horse.
And I also heard it out of Cena's. Not that he told me directly, but he said it on the fucking thing not long ago that he had one more run in him. He was going to make another run for that.
On the thing, huh?
I know obviously I'm not talking to Jazzy Jana, Pasta Tart, Tea Maker, I'm not talking to the usual suspects. Now, Andre hasn't donated in a long time. Andre could empty his bank.
I don't even recall Andre's name, to be honest.
He lives here in Louisville. He's been a dear friend of me and the show for many, many years. And, but so far, nobody has donated.
I've been here 1 year as of this month, and I haven't seen that name.
Oh, guess what I found out today when I called PayPal to find out what the fuck was going on with these $18 charges on my account? Guess what I just found out?
What?
I have been with PayPal since nearly the beginning. I said, how long have I been with you guys? I said, you have a way to look that up? She said, actually, I do. She says, you have been with us for 19 years, and you joined us July the 2nd at 10:02 a.m. I said, get the fuck out of here. So
I know I've been since 2004. I just don't know beyond that.
Never happened.
Basically, 19 years.
Never
today,
happened.
You have been with us.
Never happened.
So, yeah, I joined PayPal. 19 years, almost to the day, July the 2nd at 10:02 a.m. And I thought that was cool as hell that she knew that. And she was from Texas. She was the service helper I had is in Dallas. And she knew, she looked it right up. Oh, yeah, you've been with us a long time. I said, never overdrafted either, have I? No. I said, yeah. That's okay. I said,
Definitely never happened. Never overdrafted.
Filing false claims with us, yeah. And she says, I see you take in a fair amount of donations. I said,
right, Gonzo?
Yeah. I said, but they're spread out. I said, but they own Venmo as well, and they notice we get, donations all over. And we did make it a 12 or 13 or a 16-week wait on subscribers to be able to comment. But if you can donate, you get right in here. If you make a $5 donation or more, your question pops up. Yeah, but no, it ain't looking like we're going to make a penny tonight, and I'm not going to waste my time. We got 7 minutes, and we'll save those other 3 donations for Tuesday and see if anybody's more generous then. We will talk about the pay-per-view then.
Gonzo, go look at the comment that I put on the Starfaker page.
No, I don't want any of the regulars that have already donated this week
I don't want any of the regulars.
Unless they just got more fucking money and they know what to do with, and then that's
to
fine.
donate.
But if you don't,
press conference.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the press conference is on, but I ain't fucking watching it.
I was just looking up and Sydney Stratton's on, and I'm just.
I know that John Cena says you don't want to miss the press conference.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I can go back and watch it later, right? I mean, I don't have to watch it live, right? Yeah.
I was just having to look up and Tiffany Stratton's up there, and goddamn,
the Deep Blue Sea.
But you know who she reminds me of is Diane Kruger. You know that actress?
Yes, I know who Diane Kruger is.
She looks a lot like her.
A little bit.
A little shorter.
Cheska Rice says, I can't go home today. I'm sick and I can't walk and I can't stand up. Well, that sounded like me a few days ago. Yeah.
A virus.
Sounded like... Jesse's feeling better. She had to miss work yesterday, but she's going to work today. She was sick yesterday. Oh, you had mentioned that somebody in my past donated $5,000 to the Kevin Sullivan thing. No, wait, I think it was actually Bob.
Yeah, Bob
Somebody
mentioned that.
from your past, we won't mention any names. Somebody from your past donated $5,000. I said, well, this person claims to be worth $5 million. And if I love this person as much as this person claims they love that person, I don't think $5,000 is all that much money for a person in need who's trying to get his leg replaced. If I had $5 million, if I had $5 million,
the money ball set
like this person claims he's got, I would probably easily donate $500,000.
You ever seen that movie, Ross?
With $4.5 million, and I helped my friend get a leg. So Bob was putting this person over for their donation, but I base it upon percentages of what you
wouldn't have.
Yeah, and I mean, 5,000 for me would be a
the
very
money
good
ball
donation.
set.
But this person claims to have $5 million in the bank.
What a
He can only
grueling
cough up
schedule that
1%
movie
of
was.
it, you know?
That's what it
Is that
says
about
on
that?
net worth or whatever.
Shout out to Dutch Bros.
Yeah.
The Golden Eagle.
Well, no, he says it too, because my net worth says I've seen my net worth as high as $9 million.
Really?
That's
Yeah,
what I
when
got
you were
for
making the edit at
but-
Spolen, that's what you saw.
It doesn't count. It doesn't count.
A little bit in the kitchen cabinets.
It doesn't count what's under the sofa, in both fireplaces, and in the freezer. It doesn't count.
Both
And
fireplaces.
and what I took off the backs of the
As if
television.
this guy's
was
ever had
jam money in there.
fireplace, man.
So,
Right.
but yeah, no. If I'm worth $5 million, I think I can come up with more than 1% of my income to help my friend
Oh, yeah.
that I claim I love so much. So he's putting them over more than I would. Because if that's what you got, which I know fucking well he doesn't, I know what his bills are and I know what his worth is.
Oh, he knows
It's all
what his bills
bullshit.
are.
Basically paper.
And based on what I know he's got,
Coleman
and
doesn't
what
know
his bills are,
anything
what his income is,
about
yeah,
anybody.
5,000 is a nice donation.
Not even about himself.
But he gave 2 people credit for that donation, and one of those person hasn't earned a dollar in about 35 or 40 years. So let's not give both of those people credit for that donation if you've done nothing to bring any income to the family in about 30 years.
I like when the husband co-signs the birthday card.
And I haven't mentioned any names, by the way. I haven't mentioned
Nope.
any names.
Not at all.
And I was calling out some other. I said this man
What a
has a
sick
lot of
fuck,
multi-millionaire
man. He's just
friends
jealous.
in the wrestling
just
business,
jealous.
in the podcast business / wrestling podcast business. This man has a lot of multi-millionaire friends. How much has the GoFundMe account raised? Because the porn star has raised $800,000, even though she claims she doesn't need any money. She's raised $800,000 because they claim she's facing eviction and all this shit. Well, if you're facing eviction, you do need money.
Now, who
You
is
do
this?
need money. Stormy Daniels. Stormy Daniels, last I
Did
heard,
she just
had
get a bunch of money?
No, her lawyer, Avenatti,
you think
stole
she's
it
seen
all,
money from Trump
Coltrane.
yet? No. And the girl that Trump raped hasn't seen any money yet either. They
The
have not
girl that
liquidated
Trump raped.
properties yet.
Here we
Think she was
go.
going to be arrested?
Well, you would think. You would think. Yeah, she could just do conventions and clean up. So why she's got to GoFundMe? But supposedly Stormy Daniels had raised $800,000 or $900,000 last I heard. Does anybody know how much Kevin has made? We're 2 minutes away from shutting it down because we have not got one donation. Not a one. Not a one. And I told Bob we're going to be dead serious about this.
That's
He
hilarious.
said for every $10 we stay an extra 5 minutes. We don't even have that. I'm not going to waste Pasta Tart's donation.
$10
I'm not going
for
to have
5
Team Doom
minutes.
Challenge when it's obvious no one's going to match it. And
Yeah.
I'm not going to have Billy Sellers match
He's
his
already
challenge when it's
left him
obvious
2
no one's
messages,
gonna match it.
Gonzo.
So, and I was really tired and didn't feel like doing this shit anyway. So I was here for the people.
Right. He raised
And-
$30,210 out of his goal of $20,000, so he surpassed his goal.
Okay, all right.
That's
Well,
insane.
hey, he surpassed his goal. And so that's good because I don't know what replacing a leg cost. And I don't know. Obviously, I guess he didn't have any health insurance. Can we round it to 11, pretty please? All right, we'll round it to 11 just for you because you already made your donation. But I wanted it to be, you know what? Let's do your challenge. And we'll stay a little bit longer.
Let's do your challenge.
My sweet Sakia. the love of my life, my dream girl,
What a fucking
has
freak,
donated
man.
$15. So thanks to her, we have 35, 45, 50. We have $50 in the house. Thank you, Sakia. You're so sweet. And my dream. Did I mention my dream girl? You know why she's. I actually had a dream about her the other day. No, it wasn't dirty. It wasn't
I
dirty.
wouldn't go there. I was gonna let you go.
If I'd have dreamed about her,
Yeah,
it'd
we're
been dirty.
moving.
Yeah.
We're moving.
You did that dream wrong, Kenny. No, I had a dream about her because she just has been a part of my life a lot here lately. We went over to the mall to see her. I didn't get a chance to go in, but my son went and met her, says she's just the sweetest and most lovely person ever. And she's donated here on the show a few times, and it's a little late. I mean, girl's got 5 kids. They can wear you down throughout the course of a day. And I saw her out taking them to the park and taking them to the river.
Oh, he saw it.
Walking across the all the shit I can't do. My knees and back do not. By the way, I did lose 18 pounds today. I had not took my Bumax in a while, and it just sometimes feel the fluid building up on you a little bit.
Oh yeah.
So I took my Bumax today and lost 18
Take those
pounds.
30-minute pisses.
Oh, it feels that way. Oh, they're not 30 minutes. I mean, it's every 10 minutes for like 5 hours. For like 5 hours, and then you still go for like another 2 or 3. All the information you want. So between Pasta Tart's $35 challenge and 15 from the lovely, the vivacious, the absolute paragon of sartorial pulchritude, my sweet Sakia, we have 50 in the house, and we were hoping to raise at least 60 in here tonight. So that's something. But thank you, Sakia. That was very sweet because I didn't even know she was watching. Feel free to comment in here if you can, if you're watching on YouTube.
That's too much work.
Oh,
Man.
and we are still making arrangements.
I don't think there's a way I could.
Your
First Amendment, brother.
We're
gotta
going
let
to
him
send you
talk.
your Sakia shirt, and you've been very popular. They put you on TikTok, I think, in like 4 or 5, maybe 6 different segments.
Here you go,
Oh, is this
guys.
the Cambodian
Listen.
lady?
The Cambodian queen, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And she just donated 10 more. I should compliment her more often.
Uh-huh.
10 more dollars, I'll tell you what was in the dream. But no, that's very sweet of you, honey. I really appreciate it. So we made the 60, thanks to Sakia, and thanks to the Pasta Tart. My other dream girl, she's my nightmare though. She got mad at her employers the other day. Had to fire up on them a little bit.
That's
Blow up.
all right.
Yeah, bow up on them.
We should have first
I've
class
bowed up.
back
I've
then,
bowed
man.
up on a couple of employers.
Oh, I have too.
Didn't have a new job to go to.
Yep, there we go.
And that's what landed me in
First
marketing and
class.
sales in the cookware business back in the early 80s.
Marketing and sales.
Is
and
that
the
I got
cookware
mad at my
business.
boss and slapped him.
Slapped
At
him.
Kroger. At Kroger after 5 years.
I haven't done that.
He called.
100% never happened.
Because I would not stay over and work an extended shift, but I had a second job at TGNY. Ben Franklin, if anybody remembers those, it was TGNY. And you laugh. No, Cheska thinks I'm laughing at her. Oh, Jesus Christ. I must have given a smiley face to Cheska.
She took it as you laughing at her.
No,
God damn,
that was
Bowen.
supposed to be a crying
First you blocked
face.
Jazzy Janet, now you're pissing off the
No,
peanuts?
God damn it, calm down. It was supposed to be a crying
What's wrong with you,
face,
Bowman?
and I hit the wrong emoji. You know I fucking can't see. Weird. So Cheska told me she's sick, she can't stand up, and I hit the laughing crying face instead of the
traffic
crying.
light
I
here, right?
felt bad for her. Emojis will get you fucked up, apparently.
Oh, they will.
So she
And
says
laugh
you
up
laugh.
them make it
So
fucked up
Cheska writes, you laugh. I'm not lying. I know you're not lying. I hit the wrong emoji. I'm so sorry. I'm doing my show.
I'm gonna need you to ask Al why they canceled the show out here, because I was actually gonna
did
go. Yeah, it was supposed to be July 20th, and writing a big old canceled with asterisks and everything.
Exactly,
No reason.
Gonzo.
No
Just-
reason.
Just canceled.
Well,
And the
there's
show the next day would
there's a bunch of people in wrestling that are really Trump blowers. I don't know that Al's one of
There we
them,
go.
but he
Goes
works
back
on
to
a show
Trump.
that's full
Always
of
got to
Trump,
go back to Trump.
that Russo show. And there's a lot of people that blow Trump cock over there that don't like what I have to say. Russo all but ignores me anymore. I've never said a negative word about Russo ever.
Anybody with half a
I
brain.
might have called him out on a couple of things. But
Oh, he's
I'm-
in
Eventually
paid
ignores you,
interviews
Bowen.
now.
oh, he's paid interviews.
Yeah,
Yeah,
since the whole WCW thing on
They're
E&E.
sweet. They're sweet.
Oh, there she. Hello.
Oh, Sakia, that picture you posted today, I was watching the pay-per-view, and I saw you post a picture, and you said, if I look like this at 50, well, you're only 19 years away. Was that an AI picture of what you're supposed to look like at 50? Because if it is, you won the goddamn lottery, because that's a pretty good-looking 50. And but the hair looked amazing. I mean, everything. It's a great picture. But explain to me what that picture was about. Was that an AI picture, or was that a real picture? And you're saying, I hope I look like that 19 years from now, because you probably will, from what I've got. And but thank you for watching the show. Thank you for your donation. And Cheska, I sent the wrong emoji to.
So Kia,
you're laughing. I'm not lying. It wasn't supposed to be a laughing emoji. It was the laughing emoji.
That's Schmidt.
And these are not my phone glasses. These are the computer screen glasses. I have two different ones. And I hit the wrong emoji.
I need to get some.
Oh, that was a goddamn. So Kia, you won the picture lottery. On Tuesday night, I will upload your AI picture of what it says you're going to look like at 50, and you're the luckiest girl on the planet Earth. If that's what AI thinks you're going to look like, and I think AI is probably right. I don't see her aging too much.
Kind of scary correct sometimes.
Oh my God! I looked at the picture and I said, "Well, that looks like the gorgeous Sakia now." You know, it didn't age a day. So I showed my son. He said, "That's
all
a good
the money,
50."
right, Bob?
Yeah.
Bob knows we
I
keep
can just
all
hang
the
on
money.
4 more years.
Yeah. That's a good fitting. And so
I have 49. I'll ring the
So we got the. Let me check here. So I think let's see. Sakia donated 15 and 10, 35. So yeah, that's our 60. Well, thank you, Sakia. That's so sweet. And by the way, we're gonna hook you up with Bear Nose whenever you want to go. We're gonna get gift vouchers if you just want to go.
We're gonna
whenever
hook you up
want.
with Bear Nose.
Bear Nose
Schmidt.
agreed to bring you and your kids over. Let you come and entertain your kids with free games and free pizza over there. And
He's a pussy, that's why.
If you want to go with me and my son to Two Rivers, you're more than welcome to come. We only go out there about once a month, and Popeyes said they'd be more than happy to have you and the kids over.
They didn't say
so
that.
We want to
Sakia.
give back to you as well. We love to, especially being as I feature and focus on helping single moms in the Philippines. Many of them don't
Single
have
moms
kids,
in the Philippines.
and you work your ass off. You do that jewelry store
Interesting.
most every day. And so if we can reward you with either a trip
Why
to
do
the main
single
event,
moms
well, as a matter of fact,
in
you're
the
gonna get them all,
Philippines need
except McDonald's.
internet connections
Tightwad
and
bitches.
phones to do homework, Bowen?
But Popeyes, Main Event, Bear Nose, and Two Rivers have all said that we can bring you there. So
No, they
you
didn't.
just pick them when you want to go. You just pick them when you want to go, and you will be taken care of.
No, they didn't.
Just let me know when. That's all you got to do. And so the only two donations we have are from Sakia, the Cambodian Queen. I'm going to get with Bob to help me get her stuff mailed. I will pay for it. I will pay for Sakia's shirts. But Bob knows how to go into the store and get it processed and mail it to her. So Kia, one more time, send me your mailing address. I will get with Bob, send him the money to mail you your shirts from our store, because we want to make sure you get your Cambodian Queen shirt, and we're going to send you a Bowling Girl shirt that we would be so honored if you would take pictures in both of those, and we'll show the hell out of them on this show, because we'd be very proud and very honored to have you do that. And by the way, we didn't offer that deal to the other girl that was on the show the other day. That was kind of an exclusive deal that we offered for Sakia, because she's right across the river. She's real close.
It's easier.
The other one's out in Los Angeles, and a little more work, a little more all that. Eunice is in. Now we do need one project, and we're going to start working on this Tuesday, because we may not have the time or the bodies in here to do it tonight. Eunice, their house needs about $100 worth of repairs. Their door's not very secure. It needs a new frame.
That's fucking hilarious, Ross. Listen, didn't they just buy Eunice's house 2 weeks ago? It already needs fixing, you're telling me, Bowen.
Doors, padlock, and
It already needs fixing, Bowen? You just bought the place.
Are you crazy?
floor needs some repairs. The carpenter says about $100 will fix everything. That's a new door pad, and the reason being, their neighborhood is not the safest in the world,
Oh,
and they
God.
don't want to make it easy for somebody
Here
to
we
just walk
go.
in their house.
Here we go.
And they claim that a little girl was raped in that house a couple
Oh
years
boy,
ago.
here we go.
And
A little
and
girl
we
was
just
raped
don't
in
want to make
that
it
house.
easy on anybody to have entrance into the house. So it's about $100 to fix their house, to repair the doors, put up a new frame,
This guy's on some giggle
put up a
pickle
good
shit,
door,
man.
and padlocks on the doors, and also to fix the floor. And the carpenter says he can do all that for $100. I told Eunice that we would certainly try. We will do our best to raise that much money by the end of next week. That'll give us this show and 3 more to try to raise $100 to dedicate towards fixing her house. So those of you that are watching that give 2 shits, that's one of the things I'd love to get done to make their house a little safer. And like I said, the Tea Maker will be doing a challenge probably on the Tuesday show. We might have Billy Sellers doing his challenge. On the Thursday show, he said he also wanted to donate another $40 if I would give him a phone call. Well, it won't be a phone call. We're going to have to find out a way to get you on Facebook or Messenger, because too many people have turned on me on this show that have my phone number. And,
Oh my God.
geez, with being close together, you'd think...
Somebody better teach this guy what Google Voices.
Well, you would think, my
Jesus
dear. You
Christ.
would think. Here's most people's process. They have stuff and I don't,
What a
so I'm going to go
moron.
take their stuff. And that's pretty much a worldwide philosophy. That's a worldwide philosophy.
I was in the projects. We were
Yeah,
all
they
poor, but we
Yeah,
we
yeah,
robbed
they
each
have
other.
they have stuff and I don't, so I'm going to go get their stuff that I did not work for. And I don't know if I've told the story on here before. I think I have. There was a time that a family member of mine,
Oh yeah,
we were
Ross.
walking home in LaGrange, and we walked by this yard of some middle class people, and there was this great looking NFL football. I mean, one of the real deals. One of those that would run you $90 to $100 an hour. I guess that's what a real NFL ball is. Might be more than that. But it was a real NFL football laying in the yard. And it's about 10 o'clock at night. It's pitch black on a fall night. And I guess I was 10 or 11 years old. And remember, my stepdad's in prison right now. That's why my mom's... And a family member said, Kenny, go in the yard and get that ball. No one's looking. It's late at night. Their lights are up. They've gone to bed. Go get that ball. And I looked at him at the age of 10. I said, that ball's not mine.
That ball's not
Well, they're
mine.
You don't have a good football. You don't
What
even
up,
have a
Pesci?
football. Go get that ball. I said, no.
We got the bowling.
So they like 3 times
Replay
asked me to go
going.
steal the ball. And I said, no, the ball's not mine. And no, I'm not going to take it. If my Uncle Charlie wants to buy me a ball, he has a great job. He can buy me, and I'm at 10 years old, I'm arguing with people why I'm not going to steal the ball. And I remember I was in TGM Live once, and I think about Ben Franklin, and I had a family member that wanted
All right,
me to
hold
steal
on.
something. And I think,
What up, bruh?
Now, hold on, Barkley. If you put your stream on Discord like Pesci did, will that make Pesci be able to hear it better? Because I can hear it fine either way.
I don't know. I don't
Or
think
Pesci might have his.
What's
he might have his sound up.
What's he not hearing?
I don't know. Now I don't hear it.
I have no idea.
Now I don't
bro.
hear the stream.
Oh, I paused bowling.
Oh, okay. All right.
You want me to keep playing him?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
I know it's only like
He's
an
only
hour.
got-
I
yeah,
saw.
he's only got like 20 minutes left.
I think it was jewelry.
Okay.
Or something,
Well, that's
because
good.
I wanted to get my mom
Perfect
something
timing
for
then.
her birthday. And a family member said, well, you don't have the money to buy it, so I'll distract the person at the
Donations have
counter." And
been
this is
dick
before
tonight.
Video surveillance
said-
and cameras. I mean,
He said they need to make at least $60 in the first 30 minutes, or they're out of there.
I was telling Pesci, I said, he's talking about carpet and shit for some motherfucker's floor.
30 minutes.
$60 in 30 minutes.
So you give us 18 live shows a month, but only if we hit a fucking money. Fuck your.
He would do. He would do better. He would do better if he did like steel toe and did the goal and the overtime
Yeah.
and all that. Dude, and then nobody could say shit about donations and nothing. He would get
He's a
rid of
beggar,
all the
too.
bullshit.
The guy on Steel Toe's a beggar.
Right. That's what I'm saying. He could just be a beggar like that and do the goal, and we'll do overtime. Hell, if you all hit the goal, we'll have Joe Pesci make a run in over here. We'll have Schmidt or whoever. You know what I mean? Dude, he'd fucking make a killing off that shit. I guarantee he'd make more doing that than what he does now. I guarantee it. Because anybody I've ever seen with those kind of shows where they just do a goal and a hype train and a blah blah blah, as long as they have a decent audience, which he does, he's got a decent audience size total. If he wasn't
You mean he
guilting
had
people
he
and
had
doing this
18
bullshit.
18 people watching him tonight, Schmidt. What do you mean?
Well, I'm just saying he usually has about 30 people watching him. You know, sometimes more or whatever, sometimes less.
Could you hear it when I restarted it?
I don't hear shit right now.
I'll distract the person at the front of the counter.
What's up,
Joby?
And you go over there and you
boss
steal
man.
the jewelry for your mother.
There's that old racist, homophobic,
and,
Trump
just drop
supporting
it in, because I'd
shitbag
already
over
bought
there.
some candy or something. And you go over there
Yeah, I
with
don't
the
hear
jewelry
shit.
and just
I'm
drop
watching
it in the
Pesci's
bag
stream
and
on
walk out.
Discord. Hold on.
I looked at him. I'm going to be honest
Hold
with you.
on.
At 10 or 11, maybe I'll do that. And then I walked over there with the intention to do
Yeah,
it.
your YouTube has
10
it,
or
but
11 years
Pesci's doesn't for some reason
And
on
I looked
Discord.
at
It
it
was.
No.
Hold on, make sure I got
You
my
know,
sound
I
up
am
here.
not going to get caught for shoplifting when I live
All right.
2 doors down
See
from
what
the
happens.
store.
Yeah.
What if they catch me?
He's just
And
talking
just,
hogwash
morals kicked
anyway.
in. I said, no, if I wanted. It was, they were like,
Click out. Hold on. Give me a
Did you,
second.
hey Schmidt? Did you hear him say on
And I-
Thursday's show that for like 3 months in 2010 he had the #1 podcast in the world?
No, I didn't hear that.
Yeah,
Hold on a second.
that's top 5 all time right there. That's the top 5 comment of all time.
All right.
I was paying this guy $150 a month. We had the #1 podcast in the world, Bob. We did for about 2 or 3 months.
I can't hear it now. I don't know what's up.
Well, it's Paul here.
I know. So what I did is I got a job at Cassidy Insurance cleaning their windows.
Now try it.
And they paid me
It's
$1
fine.
for every A I made on my report card. And they would pay me $10 every time I cleaned their windows. And then I went to Little Giant grocery store. Right there, a few doors down from where I live.
Let me
Cassidy
click the
Insurance on the
thing.
left side, Little Giant on the right. And I cleaned their windows for $10. And then I went to Head's
Jersey
drugstore
Mike's.
across the street and I cleaned their windows for $10.
Jersey Mike.
And then
You
I
talking
went to
about Jersey
Western
Mike
Nah,
being a
somebody might
cleaned
sponsor?
their
Somebody
windows.
might
You
use
saying
that.
you earned money to buy this?
I earned money. I
Oh
earned
yeah,
money.
this is. He
Crazy
said he was
talk.
making money when he was 10
Yeah,
years old,
lunatic.
washing windows.
10 years old.
He made more money than
maybe
his
11.
parents.
10 or 11.
All he has to do is
So I
stop
went to 4
insulting
different
his
stores,
audience and
paid
stop begging
$40
his own
in a
on
week.
every show
I do
possible.
because they're big ass windows. I mean, don't think I was getting a cheesy ass job.
Oh,
They're
you got
big.
squeegee and shit,
Well, I
right?
said he
Oh,
made
yeah,
good
yeah.
money just
Paper
doing
towels, they
the
provide
steel
me
toe
with
type
paper
thing.
towels.
We're doing
I've
a.
done- oh yeah, I've had.
If you all
But no,
donate,
they were big fucking. It was
I'm
a
gonna-
job. You know, this
I'm
wasn't
gonna
a
do a,
fancy-ass
you
job.
know,
Inside and out. You had
overtime,
to do
whatever.
inside and out. So to me,
hell,
I
he
earned
he can make money just doing that by
Like,
doing
they
watch-alongs
weren't
and
giving handouts.
commentating. There's people that
And-
just
and
throw
Cassidy-
money at motherfuckers on
Cassidy
YouTube
Insurance
when all they're
like that.
doing is going, well, you know, it
They
wasn't a
paid
great
me $1
pay-per-view
for
tonight, but it was
every
good.
ad.
It was good to see
And
Cena and blah, 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 blah. Just
I had 42
talking.
A's.
That's it. Not
They
even
wouldn't let
acknowledging
me.
the motherfuckers in the
Even
chat
in
half the time,
1970,
except for
they
some
were not
questions
eager to hand
when
me
they
$42.
donate.
It's roughly
Like
420.
we thought you would have some B's and C's in there. We thought-
You know, people just throw money
No,
at
no, I
that
got
bullshit.
42
But
A's.
he's going like,
What
you
incentive can
know,
do for you, huh?
evangelical
Yeah,
preacher.
yeah. What a little incentive.
If you don't donate, you're going
And
to
I knew
hell.
in
The Bible
school,
says
I'm
blah blah
getting
blah
$1 for
percentages
every
and
egg.
blah blah blah.
So,
You know,
and I
10
knew at the
minutes
end
for
of the
30
year,
bucks and blah blah. You know,
Did you hear how
This
mad he?
motherfucker-
Did you hear how mad he was when he found out that Cornette gave $5,000 to Kevin Sullivan's GoFundMe?
I didn't hear that.
You could hear the jealousy. He's on this show that I'm listening to right now. You could hear how jealous he was. Like, goddamn, that motherfucker gave $5,000 to Kevin Sullivan. He didn't give my charity nothing. The internet says I'm worth $9 million, Coltrane. He literally. I'm like, bro, what did you just say? I thought like to see the website that said Kenny Bolin is worth $9 million.
I was going to have 40
I gotta see
something,
that
you know,
website.
opportunities to get an A, and I had 42 A's and 1 B. You know what the B was in? PE. PE.
I was going
you
to
know,
say that, but I thought, no
It
way.
was PE, and here I am, a fucking athlete. I mean, I fucking played for keeps. You know why I got the B?
Did he say
Because
something
we're
about?
free throw? No, I went tardy.
I remember he said something before about
Quit shooting free throws, and I
talking about people
Yeah,
who were in, like, you know, people with more money were better off.
You got a rhythm going.
Didn't
yeah, I had a
donate
rhythm. I was going
as much as he does to the
Kenny dropped
Philippines.
the
That
ball.
I remember one time I remember this. He said,
That
you know, there's
motherfucker
people with a
took
whole lot more money than
basketball,
me, and they don't do
and
as
I
much.
went up
They
to
don't do
shoot
dick
through
what
the
I do.
ball to knock the ball
I remember.
out
I
of
don't. You may remember this, Barkley, but he
And
said
I
he
turned
sent
around at
30%
age
of his
10 or 11,
income
and
to
I
the
said,
Philippines.
Dad's
I
gonna
remember
hear
that.
about this.
I don't remember
Dad's
that.
gonna
That's
hear this,
crazy.
But he's gonna get out, and he's
Yeah,
gonna
he said
beat your
30% of my income goes over there, and people
That's
with a whole lot
crazy.
more are doing nothing.
That'll do it.
Dad never went to beat his ass. I ain't going to prison over you shooting free throws.
That's
I
funny.
just got out. So we picked up a few more viewers that were maybe watching.
And Bob
the,
knows.
Don't worry, Kenny. I got mine in the chat. I see a
But
couple
still,
in there, a couple new ones.
we have 2 donations.
Hey, you better behave.
So Kia.
You better behave because Jazzy Jana has a jacket now. She's gonna moderate your ass.
Yeah. No, she won't. She won't. It'll be Coltrane.
Yeah, Bolin
He's
was.
got a jacket over here. Oh, Kenny, you know what?
Ja-
I got a jacket over there on that other show.
Kenny was complaining the
Jazzy-
other night because fucking Shands kept hitting his chat with all of his different troll accounts. You know, the Kroger Meat Department of Investigations, the fucking, you know, unemployed dope smoking houseboy, all that
Yeah,
shit.
I saw the one that said something about Coltrane, unemployed pot smoker or something.
Unemployed dope smoking houseboy.
Oh God,
Yeah.
that's funny.
But Bolin was like, Jana, you're missing all these. You're gonna get fired already.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Jana, you're missing all
He
this.
really
then
said
Coltrane-
that. Coltrane
Coltrane
came in.
get him, though?
Hey, Coltrane came in. He said, "Yeah, I saw this one account, Kenny and Bob and some black guy. Here's the thing, you can't get to me, motherfucker. You haven't streamed in 4 months because the trolls chewed you up and spit you out.
That's what. Hey, Pesci, is that not what I just said? Pesci, is that not what I just said like 10 minutes ago? Like 10 minutes ago before you came in, I said, yeah, and Coltrane hasn't streamed a live show since like 3 or 4 months ago, and then that was when like George Jones and all the Vaps and the Yaps and the other accounts, they all went in there and the motherfucker.
Coming to my show.
Yeah, right.
You know
He
what I
couldn't.
don't understand, Kenny? It said there was only one person in there, but there was 5 different names.
He probably didn't.
What the hell?
Probably didn't want to. He probably didn't want to deal with it. You know what I mean?
Well, plus he had his wife
There
on
was
his
5
show.
different accounts in there, Kenny. It was the Ghost of Kenny, and there was a
Goddamn.
Filipino account, and there was only, it said
kinds
I
of
only
ghosts.
had one person in there.
Well, hey, Kenny, let me ask you something. Do you know the account Boss Salad Toss?
They were over there. I think one of them was Schmidt. One of them was probably Schmidt.
Oh my God.
I don't know. Maybe one was Barkley.
Schmidt, did you hear on Thursday when Bolin said, I know all the troll accounts of Chris Schmidt. I know he makes all of them.
Yeah.
That was great. I know he makes all of them. He hasn't come over here with any pasta in a while, Bob. He makes minimal donations just so he can stay on my good side. And he tries to bribe me with food. That's what he said.
Yeah. Sure I did. No, he knows I don't do that shit. He's just fucking with me.
He's too much, man. Here we go.
Cambodian Queen and Imposter Target. And
Wish
Cambodian
Pesci Sound was
Queen.
working on it,
Nickel to help.
so I could hear it.
even my brother said, "Man, you've been getting a little bitchy lately." I said, "They watch every fucking show.
Cambodian
They watch
queen.
every fucking show. A lot of
Yeah,
them
I
don't
made
get
a lot of my
shows,
show's members
and
only,
they
so
never want to
Pesci and them
support the show,
couldn't
and they never want to help
do their breakdown.
freely. And that's why we're probably never going to do Twitter again. That is the most selfish.
Yeah, Coltrane was over there, Bob. He told me
Oh,
everything. I
shit,
told him
most
not
of
to
them
tell
are
me
Trumpers
everything. I
these
said, why the hell you over there?
There's a lot
He
of
was
them.
over there. Here's
Not
what he,
known to
he
be
saw,
a
Bob.
donating bunch unless they're giving
Same
to
old
their
shit, just a
rapist.
different day over there.
He saw the
Bunch of
truth.
Once
dope,
again, the political views expressed
a
on this
bunch
show
of
aren't
condoning,
necessarily those
a
of our
bunch
lovely
of demons, a
sponsors.
bunch of retards, all in the same spot.
So,
And that goddamn
she asked me
sheriff's
to go
over there,
to
and I
11
told
o'clock.
Pesci a long
We have
time
gone
ago,
11,
you better
11.
get rid of fucking
By the
Donald
way, that
Lord,
is Scooby's
or I'll
birthday,
get rid
for
of
those
you.
that are wondering.
Oh,
11, 11.
man.
So we'll go 4 more minutes.
We'll go 4 more minutes.
We gave you some extra time. And thank you so much.
We can do 6 more minutes, Bob.
I was not expecting
Little
that.
bonus minutes,
Um,
because I'm in a good mood.
never trust a Twitter.
I had cactus.
Never
earlier.
trust Dr. Bill Irwin because he ain't never gonna fucking donate. But he does have a badge. He does have a badge. But that's the only way he can come in here and let us know he's not gonna donate.
Oh
is to
shit!
have the badge.
Don't worry about that. That's goddamn shit. Who else would it?
I guess we get $3 out of it, right?
No, you're welcome. Yeah, at least we get that three.
Wow,
$2.99
busy over here in Monaco. Look at
Well,
all these
actually, you
planes.
get $1.99 a month because you.
Goddamn FBI told me, Bob, straight up. You can't charge a retard, can you?
Well, you saw what it was when I left the show.
The one in Louis, the one in
We
Mississippi,
had like
the
a
one in
5-day delay
Indiana.
and all the.
Now the
trolls
FBI
that
told me I'm gonna have to back up here.
loaded up
They
their
can't do
accounts.
much here.
By the time I got in, I was like, God,
They said he's
The one
retarded.
in the
What do you want us to
The one in Cali, the
For you,
wannabe.
Dr. Bill Irwin.
Yeah, we
I
got
can
him.
give you a doctorate in education.
Goddamn
The one in the
wannabe
mountains?
lawyer,
The
wannabe
last time I
pilot.
looked.
We got him, and
Hey,
I gotta
see,
tell you,
England?
Bob, that
I don't
goddamn
know.
neighbor
Do you
is a
spell honor
fucking
different in
shit
England?
pile.
I don't think so.
After the pictures
British
I
spelling.
just saw,
It's
you
kind of
know
like
who?
color. They have
Well,
over
then I
where-
stand
you know where?
corrected if that's the way you spell it over there. I didn't.
behind the mountains?
I stand
They said the police said this. I didn't. They said he's so drunk and
They
retarded. What do you want us
They
to
just
do?
went Democrat over
No wonder
there.
that goddamn
Yeah, I
girlfriend
saw
left him,
that.
Bob.
I've been
Yeah,
watching
50 years.
what's his name, Bill Oliver a lot lately.
They said he's over there. They caught him
Had
with
to
a
catch
pecker and a
John
potato.
Oliver. What did I say, Bill?
John, I watched
Let's
2
smash them
episodes.
together.
I saw the Trump episodes where they're basically
Wonder
like,
if
you
Brad
stupid
really
fucks
sent
better
him a
do
fucking-
something
Uh-huh.
because this is what he's telling you.
He sent him a
gonna
penny.
do.
No, he
2
did.
years free.
That's a shoot. He did that.
Mm-hmm.
And it is in your. I
Because
know
Bolin talked about it to me in private DMs on Facebook, and he also said it to Shans.
He said it to
Quite
me
aware.
too.
Yeah.
He
So he
was
got
South
it. He
America.
said, yeah, he goes,
But
yeah, he
also,
called over here being all nice,
he
sent money.
He also rapidly, because you remember that weekend, it was a really weird weekend. First, Brad sent him the penny, and then the next day, he was on Discord with us. He said, I'm going to call Bolin. And he called Bolin while Bolin was live, and Bolin abruptly ended his show and said, I got an important phone call, I got to go. But it was fucking Brad, remember?
And he said Brad wrote him beautiful letters, and he donated.
But yeah, England, Brazil, right there.
He's gonna have him on the show.
Oh.
Yeah, never hurts to be educated, right? So,
And then he sent him the penny.
but we
landed.
do appreciate the 2 donations we got tonight.
That was
from
classic,
lovely
I must say.
Cosmo
The penny was
and
funny.
lovely Sokia,
He said, "Here's for your donations."
the Queen of Bling.
Oh, yeah, Janet was a casualty in that war, wasn't she?
That was classic.
I had the toughest tax God. Yeah.
Leave the old
We took a chair
drunken
to the
boy
head.
alone,
Moses says, I
laddie.
can fix this show in a
Goddamn
couple
remind
minutes.
me of yourself,
They
lad.
just flooded the
Oh,
ring.
laddie.
That's all I could do.
Hey,
I
Pesci,
thought I had
what's your
backup.
end game?
Someone got jazzy.
I can't read you, Barkley. You seem like a nice kid. What's your endgame, laddie?
Oh, okay, all right. Well,
Oh,
y'all
it is
spell
spelled that way.
What you all spell it
Oh,
wrong.
you know, you
It's
can't
not-
trust the Schmidt, the
I
old
think
drunk
you can
back to
spell
the
it like
golden.
that too. They have a lot of Brit.
Jackie, we're trying to tell you, Jackie, you can't be around them. They're a bunch of wannabes and bowling nights. They get you in trouble, lad.
Oh, Jakey.
Bowling
You
nights.
can't trust the Sands. The Sands is the biggest one of them all.
He's been making all these fake accounts for years. I told you, lad.
It's the same old song and dance.
Tinkle as Einhorn, laddie.
Told you, laddie. Sands the whole time.
I tried to warn you. Well, Pesci, you don't understand what he's done.
No, that was Jimmy Thunder who said that about Robert Sampson.
We
How you doing, Schmidt?
doing good.
Did you hear that John Cena announced his farewell tour tonight?
Well, yeah, he said what last year or whatever that he was gonna have another run at Mania or whatever.
He's gonna be WrestleMania 41 is gonna be his last. He said.
Maybe they'll have him win the Rumble and then go for the belt. Let him be 17-time. Woo!
Mike Lucci says it wasn't me or Harry. It was Sands. Tell Kenny. Tell Bob.
Yeah.
Kenny, I made you. Jake been around
But
today?
that's what. Yeah, he was here just a little bit ago.
Mm.
But yeah, I remember when Jake tried to message Bolin, be like, Kenny, I found out it was all this other guy. It was all
Jake was
sand.
on Kenny's show, and Kenny brought up receipts, and Jake goes, "You didn't send me no receipts." And Kenny goes, "Would you like me to send you some receipts, Jake?" And Jake goes, "Yeah." He just goes, "Yeah."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kenny almost laughed at it like we did.
Oh, Gelati. It was sands.
Yeah.
He just said, "Yeah."
Yeah.
It was a one-liner.
He's like, and Pesci knows, and Schmidt knows. They got all the damn
What am I
receipts.
supposed to do? Goddamn FBI said we can't really do anything with a retard troll. So, as far as the retard and the one in Indiana, there's not much I can do there.
And then the fat boy across the river, you know, the one that used to call me dad,
That's hilarious.
he knows
That
better.
goddamn basement dwelling wannabe lawyer, we got eyes on him, Bob.
Later, boss man. I think.
Look who it is. I told you, laddie. It was sands.
Kenny was going, "Oh, I've sent all these other people. I've sent this guy all the receipts and that guy all the receipts." And she goes, "Well, you haven't sent them to me."
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now that was a good boxing watch along. Made some money.
Who boxed?
Did Diaz win?
It was, yeah, Diaz won. I put $25 on him at 3-1. So, yeah, Diaz won.
Good.
Diaz fought. Who did he fight?
Stockton's finest, man.
George Masvidal.
They boxed.
George Masvidal in boxing.
Why wouldn't they fucking why wouldn't they fight in the octagon?
Something different.
Oh, they've gone. They've left the UFC, and I guess they
Alright,
can
my
make
words
more.
inside.
They can make more money doing boxing because they're funding it themselves. I think George Masvidal and Diaz have their own promotion, so they just thought, "Fuck it,
You gotta
we'll just
remember.
sell a pay-per-view."
You gotta remember a UFC
Make
fight.
a shitload of money.
A UFC fighter's the largest payday any UFC fighter has received was not in the octagon, Schmidt. It was in the boxing ring.
Well, that's
yeah, I
one of
know.
the biggest payday
just
anyone
saying.
ever got. UFC fighter or boxer.
I don't know, but I know that Conor McGregor.
Yeah,
made,
Conor got 100 million, but UFC got a cut out of that. Conor and
Right.
Floyd got 100 million each.
Oh no, I bet Floyd
Yeah, I
got a
thought
lot.
these-
I
I
bet
thought-
Floyd got a lot more than.
Yeah,
100.
that wasn't including the pay per view. That was just their upfront money. So they probably got a few more than that on pay per view and endorsement deals.
I thought these guys were in the UFC fighting still.
No,
I
they've
didn't know
left.
they weren't.
They've retired and left. Yeah, Nate played out his contract, and I think
Isn't
Masvidal retired.
the one that's like the big Trump guy?
No, that's Colby.
Colby
Masvidal's
Covington.
a street
That's what I
fighter. He
said. I
fight
thought
in the
it was
backyards with Kimbo
him too.
Slice.
That's Colby
But
Covington.
he is a Trump guy, but he's not the big Trump guy. He's not. That's Colby. Who plays golf
Yeah,
with Trump.
I thought Masvidal, because Masvidal was the guy from Miami,
so
right?
does Bryson.
Yeah, Masvidal, he's a Trump guy, but like
Bryson
Masvidal and
DeChambeau-
Colby hate each other.
Bryson DeChambeau, who plays on the Live Golf Tour, is sponsored by Trump Golf and is your current United States Open champion. He just won the U.S. Open 2 weeks ago.
You hear that, boss man? Bryson DeChambeau is sponsored by Trump.
Maybe Boss Man can get sponsored by Trump.
He's
dreaming of
he's building a fucking time machine right now.
I think Boss Man could get sponsored by Trump for a chicken wing eat contest or something.
You should do some more of those fight watch-alongs. You could take bets on them. You could probably, make a bit of money, and sure, people will bet with you on some fights. I can give you all the odds. If you want the odds for anything, just ring me and I'll send them to you. So you don't have to be wondering what they are.
But the odds, it's like a toilet. In the southern hemisphere, the odds go the opposite direction, don't they?
Now,
like the toilet.
Bet365 is like the biggest betting thing in the world. Like
yeah.
No,
I mean, you get the odds straight from fucking Vegas or whatever. For most of the fights are there anyway. So
but they're pretty roughly the same anyway. They're pretty much the same odds. Maybe like a few cents. There's never any major difference in the odds, no matter where you bet. Pork punching, they're going to Thailand.
Just going to Thailand.
I think he's going to go to a few other Asia things, but I just see he looked at it was like $100 US for like 10 days at like this mean-ass hotel.
Oh, he's going for them lady boys, ain't he?
Yeah, well, there's just all that. I just didn't pick it out. But they got mean beaches there as well.
Legs with duct tape.
I think he'll do the test.
I have boobies. I'm a lady. Like, no, you're not. Remember, there are no chicks with dicks. There's only men with tits. It's a rule of thumb to live by. Don't give a shit what they say. That shit. You're not magically a woman
Jake got
or
his
a man.
Package. I didn't need to chalk it up. I didn't need to chalk it up.
Chalk it up, Pesci.
Yeah. Oh, you fell asleep the other night, and Jake was in there, and the disco. Schmidt, hello.
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 Schmidt, it's me.
He was sitting there asleep, and he said, "Hello, Schmidt.
Hello.
Hello, wake up, wake up, Schmidt."
He was, dude.
You were out to it.
Say, I'm out. I was out. I thought I clicked out. I don't even have my headphones. I thought I clicked out. I thought I backed out and just hit the fucking shit on you.
Is there anybody there? Hello?
He said, then he came. I came in the Discord this morning and Schmidt was snoring in there.
Could wake him up. He probably had too much to drink.
I just want to say, I'm doing good. Barkley just crashed a plane in Dubai.
That wasn't a bad fight. It wasn't a bad
I landed
boxing
in
fight.
Nice, bro.
That might as well be Dubai.
This is Saint Laurent.
Here's the thing. France has been overtaken by the Haji.
Yeah, they have.
I was going to say,
France is a great place, man. Mean beaches and stuff.
Here's the thing. France has been taken over by the Middle Eastern people, and they've ruined it. Here's the thing.
Germany too.
They're just doing the Crusades without weapons. They're just doing it again. They've taken over England, Germany, and France, and Greece and Italy. They're just like Mexicans in a boat, but in a different area. Guatemalans, I guess. But it's the same shit they're dealing with. They're just dealing with goddamn motherfuckers that want to blow shit up and make women dress like a beekeeper. At least Guatemalans and Hondurans and shit don't give a fuck about that.
Oh shit! America lose again.
Man,
what, football?
Good. Well, rugby. I
They
think.
lost to Europe. They lost to Europe in the football.
They lost to Japan and now they lost to Europe.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, yeah,
That team must
it's like
suck.
junior it's
Yeah,
like
they're
junior college guys
Well, no,
playing.
they're
They suck.
U21. They're U21s.
Yeah, well, under 21 they don't have guys from Alabama and Clemson playing.
Do they? Do they not?
No,
Clearly.
no,
Clearly.
no,
I hope not.
no.
Dude, because
They
we
got
lost to
dude.
Japan
I
in
found out.
the other game.
Hey, I found
And
out.
Pesci was like, wait, we lost to Japan in regular football?
Yeah, yeah. Well, what happened? What happened was you have to. Hey, you have to pay. You have to pay out of
Maybe
pocket.
flag football.
You have to pay out of pocket thousands of
flag
dollars
football.
to be part of that team. No shit. Swear to God.
But they don't have sponsors or anything.
Right. You have to pay out of your own pocket. So it's a bunch of dudes who are like junior college guys and shit, like just bums, absolute bums. You're not
I've
getting
played for
Ohio State,
America.
Oregon. You're not even getting
I'm an
Louisville
All-American.
Kentucky players. You're getting, you're getting bums, guys who aren't even D1.
They have to be under 21.
I don't
Right.
get it.
You're
saying,
You
you're
can't
saying
put
there's a
in Antonio
fucking
Brown
pro
there to sort
football-
of.
There's a pro football team that plays the Japanese.
No, this is a
No,
national,
it's like Olympic.
This is a
It's
national.
amateur.
It's America.
This is an international junior tournament. It's all
Right,
players.
it's like
that
the
are-
Olympics.
It's all-
World under 20s tackle football.
It's all players that
IAF.
are 21 or younger.
Yeah, but they don't have any of the college guys, Pesci, because you have to pay to be on the team. And the coaches are nobody you've ever heard of. It's not like, oh yeah, I remember that guy used to play somewhere. Yeah, it's bullshit.
Some straight bowling shit.
Yeah. I saw, it was either
Japan has a
Colin
football
Coward or
league.
somebody did a breakdown on it. He's like, we have a lot of people worried that, why did we lose to Japan and then whoever else beat them after that? He's like, here's why. You have to pay like $8,000 per person to be a member to even get on the team. And he said, and you started reading the roster and the coaches. It's nobody. I know college football. I have never heard of any of these people in my entire life. Not even the director, not the GM, none of them. They're all like just no names. Some people who paid to be there. But think about it. If you're a college football player, your college coach don't want you rolling over there to play for that bullshit because you might get hurt.
Fuck no.
You're getting paid good money by NIL and scholarship and shit, stipend and handshakes to play at Texas or Oklahoma or Ohio State, Notre Dame, whatever. It's not worth it. So they ain't gonna have nobody good. Fuck, they'd be better off doing a bunch of seniors in high school, like the best seniors in high school across the country. Or
Johnny
juniors.
Manziel and Antonio Brown. Freaking.
No, but you gotta be under 21 though.
Who's that other guy? Le'Veon Bell. Oh, you got to be under 21.
Yeah.
They should just have this send all
You
the
could still
old like.
you could still
Cam
get
Newton.
college players. Just trust me. A backup at Ohio State or Oklahoma or whatever would be better than anybody they have on the whole team right now. They have absolute nobody. Like the teams they played for, nobody's ever heard of. They're like
You're right back,
West Kentucky State University Division 7. Just what? Oh, you mean the team that if anybody shows up, they're on the team? Yeah.
East Mississippi Mud Dogs.
Yeah, well, no, they had Bobby Boucher.
What was it? What was that school that faked all that thing? What was it called?
Blue Valley State.
No.
Are you talking about the movie Necessary Roughness?
No. That it was like a
was a
fake
great
school
movie.
that they made up, and then
I love Unnecessary
Bishop
Roughness. One of my
Sycamore.
favorite movies of all time.
Bishop Sycamore.
Come on.
Yeah.
There was that thing on where that guy, he just signed all these players and they had
I
no
love
money
that
and
movie.
Oh, the Necessary Roughness, yeah. West Texas State or whatever.
Yeah, that was great.
The Armadillos.
what's that other program? Last Chance U. Last Chance U. Get Coach
yeah.
Brown, Jason Brown there.
Oh, any of those guys would be an upgrade. That one of those teams.
Well, he's doing
would,
like cameos for like $1,000 on net on Cameo.
any of those teams would beat all the other teams that the U.S. lost to easily. Any of them. Give me a high school team from Miami, Florida, with the right training equipment they would beat anybody else in the world under 21 easily. It's like soccer or rugby. Like New Zealand, an average New Zealand rugby team would beat the best team in the United States. They just would.
No, not maybe 10 years ago. Yeah, but you got to remember now, like
Well, now they
all
got
the good
players from
all
down
the
there, but
good
I'm just saying,
players
like,
they go overseas. Like we've got thousands of players overseas. Like my mate, he coaches.
well, I'm just saying, like, if it was
like,
just Americans versus
yeah, I
New
understand what
Zealand.
you're saying, but
Well,
it's all
You
a
know
bit
what I
different
mean.
now. My mate coaches rugby,
But
and
it's
he
the
reckons
same way
like
with
once.
soccer, though, because if the U.S. put together a soccer all-star soccer team, a regular soccer pro team in Europe would beat them. They just would.
Boom.
Competition is not the same. It's like basketball. Nobody across the world's going to beat the U.S. if we have our best players
Oh,
playing.
they do. They've done it. They've done it lately. Like you can't say that team
Well,
is.
I know.
Is
Well, I know, but it's usually
like LeBron and
there have been
Durant and
occurrences, right? But in general, if all of our best players are playing and we have the right coach and everything is good, we're going to win every time. I'm not saying that we couldn't get upset, but in general, we're probably going to win most of the time. But the problem is, a lot of the guys don't want to play for the Olympics anymore. It's not like the old days. They don't give a fuck. They don't want to be paid. But there are better players.
They're already making like $100 million.
Right. They don't want to risk injury or endorsements or whatever.
Well, I was telling Shans that the other night. If I was a general manager of a team that was an Olympic sport, I wouldn't let my players go, because they go play in the Olympics and they get hurt, and I have to still fucking pay them for the rest of the season.
Well, yeah, and
happens
that's
all
the
the
way it
time.
used to be. But you got to remember, David Stern was the one who started saying, no, fuck you. You have to let them go,
Fuck that.
basically.
Take them to court.
But also, you had Michael Jordan was patriotic. Magic Johnson, and Larry Bird, and shit were patriotic. Charles Barkley, they were patriotic. They were going to play for the Olympic team regardless once they started allowing the pros in, because the goddamn Russians had pros forever, and they stole the gold medal illegally in 1972. With the referee going, oh no, there's more time on the clock. After the time expired, we won the gold. And then the referee said, no, there was actually 3 more seconds on the clock. And then let Russia get the inbound and score to win the game. You know, that Olympic team never accepted the silver medal and still hasn't to this day. Not one member.
What year was that?
1972. Doug Collins was on the team. The old coach from the Bulls with Jordan.
Jordan
Yeah.
loved Doug Collins.
Yeah. They refused to take the silver medal because they got robbed. There was a ESPN 30 for 30 about it. Basically, the U.S. wins the game. Yay, the U.S. wins the gold against the Russians. Oh, okay. And then the referees, who were all like old Eastern European Soviet bloc, you know, Bosnia, whatever, Yugoslavia, whatever, Czech Republic. Oh, nope. There was actually 2 or 3 seconds left on the clock, but it was blatantly expired. They put 2 or 3 seconds back on the clock, let the Russians throw the ball in and score, basically, and win the game.
Was
total.
Was it a fix or something? Were they getting paid?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I was a fix, but they gave the Russians the game because they knew they'd probably be threatened or killed, I'm sure. Or they just hated America that much.
The Olympics were where this year?
In '72, Munich. That was when the Israelis got killed. Yeah, imagine that. The Russians fucked the Americans in Germany. I'm pretty sure that was the '72 Summer Olympics, right? Munich, right? Yeah, pretty sure. Because that's why the USA, we sat out the '76 Olympics because of that. Because of the Russians fucking us on that, and the Munich shit, and, you know, the climate with the Russians, we sat out. We boycotted the '76 Olympics, and did the Russians boycott the '84 Olympics, I think? It was something like that. They boycotted one, we boycotted the other. But yeah, it was total bullshit. I think was Greg Popovich on that team? There was another famous coach that was on that team with Doug Collins. I can't remember.
Phil Jackson.
I don't know if Phil was or not.
Phil Jackson, not Phil Connor.
Phil Connor. Tom Henderson, Dwight Jones, yeah.
He must be making backup Facebook accounts because Boss Man put on the check, goes, Phil, is this you or is this someone fucking hacked? And then he's like, no, it's me. Yeah, it's like the rugby here, like all of them, they go play overseas, so we don't have the depth anymore. Like we used to be like that, like the American dream team at rugby, but these kids, they get paid money, they go overseas, like at 20, get paid decent money, like playing in somewhere like Portugal or even in America. Like there's so many thousands and thousands of them playing overseas, and once they play overseas, they're ineligible to play for New Zealand unless they come back in here and play for a season. Like last night, we just beat England. We probably should have lost. Even though like 10, 20 years ago, we'd have kicked the shit out of them.
You talking about that All Blacks match?
Yeah, we just won. We probably should have lost. And it was played here too. You could probably make up 2 or 3 All Blacks teams of just players that are playing overseas.
He's a boss man.
When's the election?
November.
Oh, November. Is that when it's when you start voting, or is that when the winner's announced?
The election's on one
That's
day.
the actual day.
They have vote by mail-in shit, but we usually get a winner on election day. Yeah.
In November.
And Bob knows.
November
Okay,
7th,
okay.
November 7th, November 8th. I don't know if the leap year affects it at all.
Yeah, I'll make sure I send our friend a few dozen Trump flags.
Hopefully Bolin goes on some kind of rant on election night and says, "I'm moving to the Philippines. I'll see y'all. I see everybody," and just finds out that his broke ass can't get a visa because he's not worth shit and won't bring
get a
any
passport.
To Las Vegas before he'd move to the Philippines.
Well, if you guys don't donate, I'll be moving to the Philippines. But if you want me to stay, if we can reach $100, I'll stay.
Nah, we're good. Go on.
But yeah, Philippines is a hard place to get into.
I could totally picture him saying, "I'm gonna start looking at how to move, Bob. It's been nice. Maybe we can do the show from Manila."
Whatever. It's not an easy country to get into because I've got a few friends that have found it difficult to get in, and they've got they're qualified engineers.
Well,
And
they
stuff like
put
you got to have.
me in the WWE.
Most countries outside of the United States are really hard to get citizenship in. It's just this fucking liberal attitude that
You've either got to have a
borders
shitload of
aren't
money
real,
or
you know?
good qualifications.
Well, they didn't put 54 men in the WWE like I did.
They
Did that.
put that on his immigration papers. Yeah, we're fucking.
I made John Cena. I taught John Cena everything he knows about being a heel.
Gonna
Right.
start up a wrestling school.
Gonna find the next Manny Pacquiao wrestling. I did that.
Because you're telling me that Christopher was living in Belfast working as a property developer.
Yeah, right.
Sure.
And yeah, I've got all the messages, fucking all his messages telling me like,
Oh, Jalade.
yeah, Belfast is no joke.
What's a damn pashy?
Ireland has always had some of the worst unemployment in all of Europe.
I think Greece is the top. I think, or Spain. I think it's Greece.
Alright, I'm getting out of here. I'll see y'all.
Yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Later, Pesci.
Later, man. Take
Ladies,
care.
See you, Sans.
Later.
See ya, bud.
V1. Rotate. Positive rate of climb.
All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. On to Paris. All right, I'll be right back, guys. My bad, Gonzo. On our way to Paris now, brother. I think that's the French Alps right there. Well, it really is a beautiful country, huh? Scary to think that the Nazis almost took all this shit over, man. Alright, we're above 20,000 feet. We'll let them stretch their legs. Boss man's still in the Discord. Slowly making our way to our cruising altitude. Let's watch. Let's see. Boeing's fatal flaw. Let's see.
The plane suddenly lost a section of its fuselage mid-flight.
An FAA panel is blasting the aircraft company.
Amid new problems with Boeing's 737 MAX.
Where was the oversight to make sure the most critical pieces were there?
A special update to the award-winning investigation with the New York Times into the problem-plagued airplane.
This video came out 3 months ago.
And then the second plane crashed.
Ethiopia crashed minutes after taking off.
This was going to be an existential crisis for the company.
They had no idea how powerful MCAS was.
FAA's oversight was sorely...
MCAS, by the way, is an acronym for Maneuvering Characteristics Augmentation System. And it's a computer, it's a flight computer that Boeing installed on the airplane. However, they told nobody about its existence until it started flying airplanes into the ground. Let's watch.
lacking.
The mounting pressure on Boeing.
This was supposed to be one of the most highly scrutinized planes in the world. Here you are with another incident that was risking passengers' lives.
We're going to approach this, number one, acknowledging our mistake.
Now on Frontline,
It had direct echoes of everything we had been reporting on years ago.
Boeing's fatal flaw.
On the morning of October 29th, I was woken up by a colleague who alerted me that a Lion aircraft crashed. He said it's the MAX, and I was surprised because it was a new aircraft. My company provided the air data for aircraft flying around the Jakarta area. So I went to the computer and looked at the data.
Losing
It was
altitude.
immediately apparent that something was wrong. The plane went up to about 2,000 feet, just over a minute after takeoff. And the plane had a bit of a dive. And then the plane climbed to about 5,000 feet. But then at 5,000 feet, the plane was fluctuating up and down. And then the plane just started diving. It just didn't make sense. You don't see planes diving on departure. I was baffled. Why did it go down?
Ryanair flights JC610 went missing from radar.
189 people were killed in the crash of Ryanair Flight 610.
The Boeing 737 MAX 8.
The plane was a new Boeing 737 MAX,
What do we know about this 737 MAX 8?
the fastest-selling jet in Boeing history, just introduced the year before.
We don't yet know what caused this crash. A breakthrough this evening in the flight data recorder. It holds many of the keys.
The data from the black box quickly got to FAA engineers in the United States.
There is a purity of this data. It comes directly from the black boxes. So it's recording airspeed, altitude.
The data showed what appeared to be a glitch, something repeatedly moving part of the plane's tail, controlling its pitch.
It didn't take long, just a couple of minutes, to see that there was rapid movement of the horizontal stabilizer. It's probably the fastest way to kill yourself in an airplane is to have the stabilizer malfunction.
It's true.
My spine literally tingled when I saw the traces
Alaska
from the black
261.
box. The plane continually tried to push the nose down, and the pilots were trying over and over again to stop the plane. And in the end, they lose that battle.
What Boeing had not told airlines or their pilots was that it had put a powerful software system on the new airplane.
In the Ryanair crash, this system was receiving incorrect information, and that made the plane dive straight downward and destroy itself.
Inside Boeing, they quickly
MCAS.
diagnosed the problem and began working on a fix.
They
But
quickly
they stood by the
diagnosed.
MAX as hundreds of them took to the air around the world, carrying thousands of passengers. The company alerted pilots about handling a potential malfunction.
Boeing and the FAA today warned airlines that sensors on 737 MAX 8 jets can malfunction.
Boeing are calling this a formal advisory, and it's been issued to the pilots.
The reporting showed Boeing knew that it was risky, but their response was to blame the pilots.
Pilots did not hit two cutoff switches. Boeing says that action was part of well-established protocols for all 737s.
And that led to a series of decisions that kept the plane in the air. And then we got another crash.
Breaking news out of Ethiopia, where a plane went down.
It was Ethiopian Airlines Flight 302 on its way to Nairobi from Addis Ababa.
A new 737 MAX 8 jetliner crashed minutes after taking off.
Two crashes, the same plane, 346 people killed, an iconic American company's reputation in tatters. The story of the Boeing 737 MAX would end up exposing corporate deception and a broken regulatory process. But at the center was a software system supposed to keep people safe that instead led to their deaths.
Black boxes from the Ethiopian
Let
crash
'em know.
have been recovered.
It's the second
TOB.
disaster within 5 months involving the Boeing 737.
Oh, we'll call it TTA, the troll alley.
That's the same kind of aircraft that crashed back in October in Indonesia.
The troll alley. Be right back.
Passengers and crew members on board all dead.
The first thing you get to see at the site is a very big hole. And then to only imagine this is the place that they were last alive.
We learned that there were no survivors on the plane. And then our objective was to go and bring my daughter's body home.
Now you're in close proximity, you're able to see the fine details, you're able to maybe think these are personal effects belongs to Cairo, my sister or my mom, or this bone, whose bone is this?
A 3-day platform.
And they told us that there was no part of a human that was bigger than a femur that was left.
That whole experience is just a jumble of images and painful thoughts and blankness, really, to me. I don't really... I can't really make sense of it.
The crash of Ethiopian Flight 302 in 2019 was the second time in 5 months that a Boeing 737 MAX had gone down. As families gathered at the crash site, across the world, reporters at the New York Times were investigating what had been going wrong with Boeing's new commercial jet.
Statistically speaking, the likelihood
The
that
New York
these two
Times.
accidents
Red
were not
flag.
in some way connected was extremely low. It suggested that there was something going on with the plane, and obviously we were determined to find out.
It was clear from the get-go that Boeing was in full crisis mode.
As the facts from the accident become available and we understand the necessary
Dennis
steps,
Muhlenberg.
we're taking action to
He's
fully
not the
reassure
CEO
airlines
anymore.
and their passengers of the safety of the 737 MAX.
This was going to be an existential crisis for the company.
Boeing
if
lost.
these two events were
They're about
related.
to lose their second CEO over
China
this
grounds
whole
the plane
737 bullshit.
Other international regulators ground the plane. Then the European Union grounds the plane.
But in the U.S., the FAA says it's not grounding.
Boeing and the FAA all were saying that they were sort of waiting for the facts before they rushed to judgment and grounded such an important new plane.
But for months,
Some
the
traffic in
Times
our,
was reporting there
Captain
was something
Wonder, you see
wrong
that?
with the 737 MAX itself. The software system that pilots had not known existed.
The Maneuvering Characteristics Augmentation System, or
There it is.
MCAS. The function of this previously undisclosed system was
Undisclosed.
to save the plane when it believed that the plane might go into a stall and fall out of the sky. And so this system was designed then to sort of take over the stabilizer and push that nose back down in case
And it
the
only
pilot
operates
gets in
on
trouble.
one angle of attack sensor.
Then,
which is wholly
a major
unprecedented.
setback for the company.
Have a system with zero redundancy. Especially a
Radar
system
showed the two
that's going to
planes'
pitch the
flight
plane's
patterns
nose
were
down.
eerily similar.
There you go.
Days after the rest of the world had reached the same conclusion, they finally grounded the plane.
For the New York Times reporters, all the signs pointed to MCAS.
We knew that MCAS was the beginning. We knew that we needed to start with this system.
This
Really
was a
reminded
really
of the Trump
problematic
grounded
software
Boeing.
system in the way it was designed. Okay, well, then
What up, Jay
how the
Walsh?
hell did it end up in the plane this way?
Boeing declined to be interviewed for
doing,
this
brother?
film. In a statement, the company said safety is its top priority,
We had
and
some
it has
good
worked
fights
closely
tonight.
with regulators, investigators, and stakeholders to implement changes that ensure accidents like these never happen again.
This story really begins in 2011.
The 2011 Paris Air Show officially opened Monday.
Boeing and Airbus had been going head-to-head for at least a decade. But Airbus had been quickly catching up and really nipping at Boeing's heels.
It's the best air show ever for Airbus in terms of aircraft numbers sold.
In 2010, Airbus introduced the A320neo, a more fuel-efficient version of its stalwart A320.
The A320 is the direct competitor to the Boeing 737. Airlines wanted an airplane that was more fuel efficient than the airplanes then in service.
If Broke is always on the DUI kick or DUI kick, how does he manage to fly planes with us? Let's give one time for Jay Walks. All right, that's enough. Yeah, I mean, if I had that many DUIs, they would take my pilot's license away from me, bro. If you get one DUI, you have to report it. So, Nate did it tonight, huh? Nasty Nate, Stockton's finest, Stockton bad boy.
Airbus chose to re-engine the A320 into what they called the Neo, the new engine option.
It's a record 200 orders for its A320neo.
It was one of the fastest selling programs of aviation history.
And it placed
Well,
enormous
that Neo's a
pressure on
fantastic
Boeing
plane,
to
too.
respond. Boeing, frankly, was caught flat-footed.
Within a couple of weeks, Airbus and American Airlines had the preliminary workings of what would become the first deal for American to buy Airbus planes in more than a decade.
Gerard Arpey the CEO of American Airlines, calls Jim McNerney, the CEO of Boeing. So it's a courtesy call at this point, just letting their longtime supplier of airplanes know they're going to go with the competition.
And that is essentially a dagger in the heart of Boeing.
And within 48 hours, Boeing had decided to pull the trigger on launching the re-engined 737, which
So
later became branded as the MAX.
Re-engine a plane for the 8th time instead of just making a new plane?
It was marked by competitive pressure.
Because here's the kicker.
Within days of the second 737
Boeing
MAX
promised
crash,
that they would deliver a plane that required 0 new training time for pilots in the simulator, and they said that for every it was something ridiculous, like they would refund $1 million per plane for every pilot that had to have additional training. It's insane.
Investigation was underway in Washington, D.C.
We started getting information in from whistleblowers, from people, both current and former FAA
they're crazy.
and Boeing employees.
Doug Pasternak was leading a
They're crazy,
congressional
Jay.
investigation.
I'll be right back, boys.
This is his first interview about what he found.
As soon as the second accident occurred, we started our investigation, and our focus was on the design, development, and certification of the MAX. We got hundreds of thousands of pages of documents from Boeing. One of the things that really struck me from speaking to a lot of Boeing employees was that they were so excited to go to work at Boeing. Boeing is a tremendous engineering company and a technical marvel, but almost without failure, they point to a degradation of that mindset, and that safety suffered as a result. Looking backwards, I think you can clearly see the trajectory to tragedy along the way at Boeing.
My dad was stomping on the ceiling. He said, "I'm making too much noise in the basement."
Boeing publicly said the MAX
Sorry,
went
Dad.
through a deliberate 6-year development process. But in their first stories, the New York Times reporters found insiders who said that Boeing executives had been putting the pressure on to design the new 737 quickly and cheaply.
One specific engineer we spoke to was Rick Ludke. He helped design the cockpit in the MAX, and he talked a lot about how there was an obsession in limiting changes.
This program was a much more intense pressure cooker than I'd ever been in. The company was trying to avoid costs, minimum change to simplify the training differences, and to get it done quickly.
That put what had happened in the context of this broader corporate narrative.
Yeah.
Speed was what they seemed to desire. There was a lot of decision-making that was somewhat arbitrary and didn't involve as much of what engineering considers healthy debate. The challenge to the Boeing designers was that any designs we create would not drive any new training that required a simulator.
There it is right there.
In his recorded interview with the Times,
Simulator.
Ludke said Boeing management was so determined to avoid the expense of new training, they made a bold promise.
Sales had made a commitment with Southwest that for any airplane they delivered that had a new level D differences training, Boeing would pay the company $1 million per every airplane delivered.
Wow,
If
there it is.
the MAX required simulator training,
I'm gonna
it
be
would
UFC champ.
rebate
It's gonna be
Southwest
Brazil Travis
$1
Fire.
million per plane.
Yeah,
Here's
he's
how that's why it was so important to Boeing.
But that's always
that
been
pilot
Nate,
training
man.
be kept
That's
to a
that's the
minimum.
Diaz boys.
All of this comes out of trying to
They're
give
boisterous.
airlines
They're
the most
grandiloquent.
fuel-efficient version of a plane that they can spend as little money training their pilots on.
That meant Boeing had to do a number of things to make this plane fly like the old one. And that was because the MAX had much bigger engines on it to make them more fuel efficient.
But because the 737 was a 50-year-old airplane at this time, practically, when it came time for Boeing to put those engines on the wings, the engines were so darn big they had to mount them further forward on the wings.
Up and forward.
They were testing in this wind tunnel, and they were discovering the plane was handling just a little bit different. But they didn't even have a plane built yet, so this wasn't, happening in a real flight. This is something you have to fix. And they leaned on a system that they had used once before in a military tanker. It was designed as a system on the plane to really just smooth out the way the plane handled.
It was MCAS.
It was designed for these extremely unusual maneuvers, situations that hopefully the plane would never get in. And to prevent the nose from getting too high, the system would move the stabilizer on the back of the plane.
Pitch the nose down.
Push the nose back down.
But inside Boeing, there were early signs of trouble.
One of the first documents we found was from November of 2012. A Boeing test pilot was flying the MAX in a flight simulator and trying to respond to an activation of MCAS. And that resulted in what he described as a catastrophic event.
He had a Manziel career for sure, Jaywalks.
It showed that if that had been in real life, he could have lost the airplane. They realized from that moment on, even a Boeing test pilot may have trouble responding to MCAS.
The company kept quiet about the simulator experience and appeared to have discounted the test results. Still, in the following months, some Boeing employees suggested simply removing all references to MCAS from training manuals.
Boeing, from almost the very beginning, realized the significance of MCAS and the significance MCAS would have.
Think about
on
that.
pilot
Boeing put something in the
simulator
airplane
training.
that they
If we emphasize
purposely
MCAS as a new function, there may be a greater
withheld from the pilots.
certification and training impact.
Made sure they didn't know
Recommended
about its
action.
existence.
Investigate deletion of MCAS nomenclature. What that meant was that if they said MCAS was a new function, the FAA was going to scrutinize it a lot more.
Boeing told Congress it kept the FAA informed about MCAS's development and final configuration. But Boeing has a complex and close relationship with the agency that oversees it.
The airplanes are part of the story, but so are the regulators. The FAA regulated Boeing in part with a handful of Boeing employees whose paychecks came from Boeing, but whose jobs were to represent the interests of the FAA.
It's a decades-old arrangement known as delegation that allows federal agencies to give oversight powers to the companies they regulate.
In the beginning, there was a really good reason for this. The FAA was certifying things that made no sense to have them certify every single exit sign or bathroom sign or paint. The issue that many of the FAA employees that we talked to had was that it went way beyond bathroom signs. Over time, Congress passed laws that pushed the FAA to hand over the responsibility for more and more tasks to the company, to Boeing.
With this level of delegation between the company and the FAA, it became hard to understand who was working for who.
In the design of the 737 MAX, many things would be delegated to Boeing. That included MCAS.
Under the impression that this was a relatively benign system, the FAA agreed to delegate it, as is the custom with the FAA and Boeing. And that's what happened in this case. It handed it over.
In a statement, the FAA blamed ineffective coordination and said it had not focused on MCAS when it certified the MAX because Boeing had not identified MCAS as significant. Under orders from Congress, the FAA has since made changes to the delegation process. After years of going through design and development, the 737 MAX prototype was rolled out of Boeing's Renton factory for its maiden flight.
Ed Wilson is in the cockpit. He's the new chief pilot, and he takes off.
And let's just take a listen as this airplane gets ready for its very first takeoff.
A short time after this first maiden flight, Ed Wilson, he and his co-pilot start to realize that the 737 MAX is not handling as smoothly as it should in certain low-speed situations. It's shortly after takeoff. You know, it's still kind of climbing to ascend. It's not going full speed.
Boeing engineers had an idea for how to deal with this.
They know about MCAS, and they know that MCAS was actually used for a similar situation in these high-speed maneuvers. And so, theoretically, MCAS could also be used in these other situations to also smooth out the handling. Crucially, it's already been created, it's already been approved, and it's something that we could just apply, you know, to a different phase of flight. It's actually a pretty easy fix. This ends up being an extremely fateful decision. They enable the stabilizer to move much more, actually 4 times as much. Now the system's designed for low-speed situations like just after takeoff. And after takeoff is when the plane is still only a few thousand feet over the ground. That means you have much less room for error.
Beginning our descent into Paris,
in
ladies and
automated
gentlemen.
fashion and a repeated fashion. This fundamentally changes.
We are making the cabin ready for landing.
It makes it much more aggressive.
Just a
much more risky.
drink service
It's
on
a
this
far
flight,
more
nobody else.
dangerous.
Boeing was doubling down on the system, expanding it, despite the earlier catastrophic result in a simulator test. The Times reporting on MCAS focused on a former Boeing pilot.
I started to hear about a pilot at Boeing whose name was Mark Faulkner, the chief technical pilot for the 737.
He was this key liaison between the company and the FAA.
He was the person who personally emailed the FAA asking for MCAS to be removed from the pilot manual. That was an important piece of this because we understood that the FAA really didn't know that MCAS became more powerful.
He was speaking absolutely on behalf of the company. This was not some low-level employee. And he was asking for something that was really quite substantial. That a new piece of software that made the plane...
Not in the
behave
simulator,
in ways that
unfortunately,
previously hadn't,
Gonzo, but in
be
real
concealed
life,
from the
yeah.
pilots. This is where the
And it happens
commercial
fast.
pressures from the executive level come right down to the development.
I have a
Mark Faulkner certainly was not alone.
what's the name of that
after what he
airline that
did.
goes from
He was
Vegas
following
and shuttles
through
the
on a
Area
policy
51
by
employees?
Boeing to
I have the
ensure
livery
that the program did not
because
have
they
to
actually
put
fly
pilots in a
737-600s.
flight
Janet.
It got to
I have a
the point
Janet
where
livery for my
Mark
737-600,
got
and
an
I've
award
landed at Area 51
for
before with it.
keeping training on the 737 MAX to a minimum.
Nearly 8 months after requesting that MCAS be removed from pilot training manuals, Faulkner texted a colleague with a shocking realization.
This appears to be the moment where Mark Faulkner learns that MCAS has been expanded. He writes in that message, "I basically lied to the regulators unknowingly."
But he never went back and corrected the record. He never went back and fixed the error.
Mark Faulkner wouldn't speak to us. He was indicted for lying to FAA investigators about MCAS, but later found not guilty of all charges in federal court. His lawyer told the Times reporters that his communications with the FAA were honest,
It's this
and that he would
YouTube.
never jeopardize the safety
It's
of
this
other pilots
documentary
or
about
their
the
passengers.
737 MAX, those planes that were crashing.
When Boeing
J-Loss,
engineers
it's playing in
expanded the MCAS system,
we
included a
already
feature that would make it particularly
we already
dangerous.
re-listened to his show.
Planes have millions
earlier. You
of
missed
parts
it.
in them. And there's
You
one
didn't miss
little one
anything.
on the 737 that sticks out of the fuselage.
See that little black circle there? That is called
The angle of attack
Angle of
sensor.
attack sensor. I told you, this
On the
MCAS
737
only
MAX,
ran off of
it
one
had the power
angle of
to
attack
trigger
sensor.
MCAS.
It's the AOA sensor that
No redundancy.
is one of the crucial parameters to the computer to tell the plane that it's in a perilous condition.
The angle of attack sensor would activate MCAS by telling the system that the plane's nose was too high, and then MCAS would try to push the nose down.
But if this sensor is broken for whatever reason, MCAS never realizes, and so it keeps pushing the nose of the plane down over and over again.
Congressional investigators would later find documents showing that Boeing engineers had raised this very concern.
An engineer asked, what if we have a faulty AOA sensor? Because AOA sensors are known to be faulty. You know, what happens to the airplane? So you have those concerns raised, and the responses, again, from Boeing engineers was to essentially dismiss those.
Boeing began delivering the new 737 MAX in mid-2017.
At the outset, 737 MAX was arguably one of Boeing's biggest successes. It had become its best-selling jet ever.
I feel you, Jay Walsh.
Advanced sales were estimated at $370 billion.
I
American
know
had
what you
orders
mean,
for
man.
100. Southwest Airlines for 200. Boeing had focused especially hard on selling to developing markets in Asia, where Ryanair's parent company became the first customer to fly the 737 MAX, signing an agreement worth more than $20 billion.
What up, Jay?
Airlines loved it. There was a years-long waiting list to get one.
But
That's what
Boeing's
happens, I heard,
signature
Jay
new
Walsh.
jet had a fatal flaw.
Breaking news, the search for wreckage is underway after a passenger jet with 189 people on board crashed.
A Ryanair Boeing 737.
Nearly brand new Boeing 7.
Investigators from the U.S. National Transportation Safety Board contributed to an analysis of what led to the Ryanair crash.
Leading up to the Lion Air accident, the angle of attack probe itself was miscalibrated. The maintenance crew was not able to properly identify this miscalibration.
An angle of attack sensor sent bad data to MCAS.
The plane thought it was in a stall because of bad information.
And as a consequence of this angle of attack data error, the MCAS activated when it really shouldn't have.
5 months later, almost the exact same thing happens halfway across the world.
New 737
Ethiopia.
MAX 8 jetliner crashed today. Investigators say that flight had similar problems to the Lion Air crash.
Once again, the angle of attack sensor is malfunctioning.
But there is this question now about systems within the aircraft.
If MCAS hadn't been on those planes wouldn't have crashed. It's that simple.
The world mourns 157 people killed in the Sunday crash.
On the flight of 737 MAX crash, we lost 5 of our family members. We had our mom, Ann Karanja, our dear sister, Caroline Karanja, her 3 kids, Brian Joroge, Kelly Wanjiku, and Ruby Wangoi. Like there is a manual of how you need to react. You just there. It's like motionless. You just feel infuriated by anyone and everyone at that point. I remember the Boeing company blaming what they call the foreign pilots and deflecting blame to them, saying they are the cause.
They did do that.
All of us at Boeing are deeply sorry for the loss of life in the Ethiopian Airlines Flight 302 and Lion Air Flight 610 accidents.
Boeing CEO Dennis Muhlenberg latched onto findings that inexperience and lack of training were part of a chain of events that led to the crashes. It was a controversial position.
Understand that these airplanes are flown in the hands of pilots. And in some cases, our system safety analysis includes not only the engineering design, but also the actions that pilots would take as part of a failure scenario. Right?
Boeing's contention from the beginning was that even though the pilots did not know that MCAS existed, that they did not need to know that.
And in some cases,
They didn't need to
those
know
procedures were not
about a
completely
fucking
followed.
flight computer on their
Boeing believed that
airplane?
the pilots should have been able to realize
Jesus.
that it was very similar to a runaway stabilizer situation.
Runaway stabilizer is an aviation term for a malfunctioning stabilizer. After the Ryanair crash, Boeing had issued a directive to pilots to be aware of this possibility and told them what to do if it happened.
When that part of the tail was not acting the way that it should be, you take manual control of it.
The pilots could have stopped their roller coaster ride by turning these two switches off.
To shut off power to the stabilizer, you stop it from moving on its own. And then you start cranking a wheel in the cockpit that literally will manually move the stabilizer back to where you want it to move.
The issue was, were there things
It must be
happening
the
inside
French
the
countryside
cockpit
here.
that might have made that harder to do? That's what we were asking.
When we finally got the preliminary black box data from the Ethiopian crash, we called up Dennis Tazier, an American Airlines 737 pilot, and sent him the data, and we read through it together.
My mission was to provide them, I'm in the cockpit, I see what's happening now. So we walked through each line, and I had no idea what was in it. I knew that the crew had an experienced captain and a lesser experienced first officer.
We go second by second through these few minutes of this flight.
Going through the steps that the pilots had taken and saying, yep, I would have done that. Yep, I would have done that.
As soon as they lifted off the ground, all these different alerts started popping up. The airspeed was unreliable, the altitude was showing unreliable. There were alerts related to that. But they bring the gear up and they continue to climb out.
2 minutes into the flight, based on faulty data from the AOA sensor, MCAS kicked in and began pushing the nose down.
And I have very clear memory of noting a time mark where the first officer is quoted as saying, stab, trim, cutout switches, which takes the weapon away from MCAS, which is what Boeing told us to do. And I have to confess, I probably swore. I said, the kid got it right. That kid got it right.
What had happened was the pilots did do what they were supposed to do. They had cut the electricity off.
Don't think.
They hit these switches, and they tried to take manual control.
The first officer is reaching to this large wheel on his left, and that's the manual trim wheel, and trying to turn it. It's like lifting up a 10-ton bucket of cement out of a deep well.
Problem was, at that point, the plane was going so fast that even after they took manual control, they could not physically get the plane to right itself. They shouldn't have been going that fast.
Too low terrain.
And they're continuing to accelerate towards the ground. The ground is approaching them.
Then, with no apparent recourse, the pilots reached for the stabilizer switches.
I'm yelling into the cockpit, don't do that. But I don't know what they're facing.
MCAS was reactivated.
MCAS says, hey, I'm back on.
Some
Here
fucking
we go.
Skynet shit.
And now the airplane is in near full nose down trim. And
This
you
is your
can
trim
pull
right here,
back
by the way.
Forever. And there's not enough metal in the back of the airplane to make that airplane come up to a nose
And
up.
those stab, trim, kill switches are right here. Cutout. Stabilizer, trim, cutout switches are right here.
She died when she was 24. It's unbearable that she's not with us. And the only thing I can do is try to prevent this for other people.
About 4 months after the Ethiopian Airlines crash, the family of Samias Tumo was about to receive news they would find bewildering.
We were eating dinner, and I hadn't looked at my phone for a long time, and it was blowing up.
The Federal Aviation Administration now in the hot seat in Washington over its certification of Boeing 737 MAX planes.
We are joined today by Ali Barami, the Associate Administrator for Aviation Safety.
We continue to evaluate Boeing's software modification to the MCAS. In addition,
FAA official Ali Barami had been called before Congress, where he was questioned about revelations the FAA had known there was a risk of another MAX crashing after Lion Air.
If the agency's own analysis found MCAS to be an unacceptable risk, why did the FAA not take immediate action to address those risks?
The families hadn't known that before. They didn't know that the safety agency gambled with passenger lives.
we knew that eventual solution would be to have the modification, and based on our risk assessment, we felt that we have sufficient time to be able to do the modification and get the final fix.
We're coming in here. Let's get set up for landing. Thanks for the follow, Jay. Appreciate that, brother. We're ready to land in Paris. Get some music, huh? Got our decel coming up. French countryside, ladies and gentlemen. We should be on the ground at 9:30 a.m. local time in Paris. Got a great approach here. Here's some traffic. Oh, there it is right there. Oh, the runway's straight ahead. We got like a nice... It might have been, Jay. The way they were flying. Looked like it could have been. Could have been. Speed brakes are out. Boy, this is bumpy out here today in Paris. Must be the airport. Oh, we're right on glide slope. Let's go. Gears down. flaps 40. Approach is looking good. We're right on glide slope. Okay, runway's inside.
Sync rate. Airspeed low. Airspeed low.
40, 30, 20, 10.
Lost track of center line at that other angle. Yeah, that was butter. If that wasn't butter, I don't know what is, man. Honestly. Here comes hashtag the landing. Yeah. What did you think of that, Ross? That was butter, G. Let's get our speed brake back up. Oh my god. Goddamn flight simulator crashed. Unreal. A late night Dr. P. Wow. Stupid thing. Alright, well that's where I'm gonna end it then. Later, y'all.